Hello everybody, and welcome back to week number 10. I'm joined by some pretty awesome fellas. We got Venruki and Supatease back to commentate these amazing games, and amazing games they shall be. How you guys doing? How you doing, Venruki?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today, good sir?
Fantastic. How are you doing, Supa?
I'm doing well. How are you, Dmachine? You just said it, but I'm asking you again because it could be different.
What was I first? Was I good?
Now you're the one that knows how you are.
Well, I changed since the first time I've been asked, so now I am splendid.
Aw, splendid.
Yeah. So today is going to be a pretty awesome day. It is the very first day of the tournament, and these teams are pretty intense. I mean, I know both of you guys have looked at the team list, but I'm convinced that this is going to be the most competitive tournament that we've ever hosted. And if you guys don't already know this, it is going to be a 2-week-long tournament. It is a double elimination. So if your favorite team loses, don't worry. They still have another shot in the losers bracket next week. But Friday and Saturday this week, we're going to get through the entire winners bracket to determine the first team that's going to be in the finals. So today, we're doing the very first round, and we'll be starting shortly. I'm going to get these teams ready. I believe they should be already ready. But any predictions, boys? I mean, let's take a quick look at this bracket. Here is the bracket. I mean, if you don't know who's on these teams, guys, feel free to just refer to our team list. But this bracket, man, I don't even know where to start. Any predictions? I'm just going to put you guys on the line. Who's going to take the whole thing? I'll go with you first, Supa.
I think we both said that it's going to be an RMD.
Oh.
We're not sure exactly which one, but we said it was going to be one of the RMDs.
But
So,
that being said, I think there's teams that can take out the RMDs. I just think a safe bet would be that comp is really, really strong, especially when you play it well. But I think there's a lot of teams in this tournament that could prove me wrong and actually end up being that comp.
So let's see, what RMDs do we have? We have, of course, DBK, which is the legendary Generics, Majidin, and Danny Carey. These guys have won twice, and then Majidin won again alone with Asper. There we go. But is there any other RMDs? Oh, we have Naj's RMD as well.
Naj and Jamili.
Boys are back, yeah. Wow, I see what you're saying. Now... That being said, there is quite a few teams that have had like 4 players in their team to try to prevent getting countered and things like that. And this is the most amount of like composition diversity we've ever seen. I mean, of course we have the RMDs, but what teams are capable of doing is awesome. I'm really excited to see what's happening in the very first game of this tournament, this best of 3. All the games today are going to be best of 3. Is I'm Stuck, which is Dorothy, Evangeline, Dwayne Wave versus Tazipu of Church Ameno. They're ATC, Taz LOL, Squeaker, and Memphis Rain. So that's coming up very, very shortly. And we're going to get these teams ready, and we'll be right back.
Y'all ready for this?
His team is just rotting though. Maldiva doing so much damage to everyone.
Is he a live lord or is he not? Vanish cheap shot, can he counter kill? The back comes out, he's gonna die! Kid on the Nesper now, half HP Nesper pulls it out.
And he just flops! Are you kidding me? Dude, this Red Paladin team is here to play. Welcome to EU, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe.
I'm not watching it.
Just have a headset on.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. But we're good. And so I'm going to go ahead and queue up. And of course, the very first map of this best of 3 between these two teams is going to be on the Grand Arena. Both teams haven't got back to me at 100% yet, but they have been communicated by an admin. So we're going to give them those 10 minutes to ready their team. It is currently 9:04. So at 9:14, we might have to make a disqualification. But I'm sure these teams will be ready then.
So what's the first match? Oh, never mind. We've already talked about that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I said that Dorothy is no chance to lose.
Dorothy has no chance to
I said
lose.
100% chance that Dorothy wins.
What are the comps? It's going to be ATC against
Red Hunter Shaman?
Red Hunter Shaman. Okay.
So you got the Shaman Purges for the Druid, and you also have the Ret Paladins outs from the Hunter CC. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like this is probably in the favor of this Rhett Hunter. But at the same time, this is Tazzypoo's ATC, man. Like, I feel like every time I make a prediction about Tazzypoo, he always, like, just makes me look wrong.
Always proves you wrong.
It's fun to get proven wrong, though.
It is fun to get proven wrong. It's true. It's a nice surprise, right?
It's nice when the underdog wins, the unexpected happens. I think it's what makes tournaments and like esports and any sport sort of exciting, you know?
Absolutely. Okay, so I guess I have a few minutes. They got 9 more minutes to ready their team, and I'm just going to go ahead and take this opportunity to go over some of the rules. So when it comes to teams and having multiple compositions, they can only change one of their classes out per round. So say like you play one round as RMD, you can't go and then play like WLS or something significantly different. You can only change one of those classes out per round. So you could do it, you could change one out and then change another one the next round. So and then the map rules. The very first map of every series is going to be the Grand Arena 100%. And then there is no double up on the maps. So say you can't do Grand Arena, then choose Grand Arena again. So every single time a team loses, it's going to be loser's choice of the next map. But 5 out of 6 of the maps need to be played before we can double up on maps. So that won't really be relevant until we are in the finals, which is a best of 7 series. Thank you for that subscribe.
So they can't change comps in between series?
They can't.
Like,
This can't be significant change. Like, they can change one class. Does that make sense? So
I think so, yeah.
They can't necessarily like change their entire.
Is that a new rule?
No.
I think it's it seems new.
Nah, it was in the whole time, but it never has been relevant until now. No one was ever even capable of doing that until. I mean, they would sign up with their teams to be able to completely change their comp around, but.
Okay.
So 9:15 was the time. Was the time that we have given them. Wow. 2 subs coming in hot already. Thank you so much, guys. If you guys missed it yesterday was the qualifiers for tournament number 10 to determine who got that very last spot out of these 4 teams. And the TSG, specifically the team Wizard Cleave, qualified. So shout out to them.
Oh, cool. Wait, their name's Wizard Cleave and they play TSG?
Yep.
That's so funny.
They actually beat 2 teams that I thought would be very hard for them. So, especially the second team, so they're not something to be laughed at.
No, I don't think so. How is was there seeding for this tournament, or is the brackets random, or
completely random? No seeding at all.
Okay.
We do have a little random shuffler. It is double elimination to really prevent those super hard counters. Though, like we said, when it comes to competing in a tournament like this, we do recommend, and we encourage rather, having multiple comps.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you mentioned that this you think is going to be one of the most competitive tournaments, and I think a big part of that is because of the format now. You know, someone's not going to get. They could get accidentally knocked down, but they're not accidentally knocked out of the entire tournament. You know, or they get countered or something like that. So it gives a lot of these really good teams a second chance to sort of come back and battle their way up, which is good.
Absolutely, man. That double limb, I'm really excited to see what the double limb holds. And not only that, but the teams that are going to be competing next week are going to be able to see who they're facing. So maybe they got a little bit of preparation they could do. Who knows? But the very first map of this best of 3 is going to be, of course, the Grand Arena. I just need to confirm that both teams have the right party leader. Alright. Uh-oh. Then face goes up. There we go. So we're gonna go figure out where Ven went, and then we'll jump right into this best of 3 series. Both teams are ready. We might just be doing this ourselves, Mr. Supa. I don't want to
His power went out last week, didn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's timed. Maybe his power goes out like every 2 weeks.
All right, let's see what happened. Can you tell me, is there anything in Skype chat that I should know about?
He's asking if he should put his camera. Oh, that was 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. What did he say? Oh, I drew that.
It was something about his camera, but it doesn't matter. It's 15 minutes ago.
Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and queue up with just me and you for the very first map then. And maybe we'll grab Ben back in for the next series. Who knows? Alright, so the very first map of this best of 3, guys, of course, is in the Grand Arena.
Ooh.
Alright, boys. Welcome to the Grand Arena. We do have Evangeline, Dorothy, and Dwayne
Yo.
Wave. Well,
Yo.
What?
Yo, he's survival.
Oh, Squeaker?
He's prot and survival.
Yeah, Squeaker's always survival.
I know he's prot. I didn't know that Squeaker only played survival. I
Yeah,
thought
isn't that
he
weird?
He switched.
Yeah, Squeaker is always survival.
I wonder how much of an edge that really is, if it is any. I mean, they nerfed Trank Shot recently, so survival actually might be just as strong.
Maybe. I mean, you still got a little bit shorter time on those traps and whatnot, so you still have that advantage, but at the same time, and I feel like survival does a lot more magic damage. Maybe that gives them...
They're leaving.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and figure out what's going on here.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back, friend.
What's up, dude?
What's up, dude? Everything good?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna take your Ven face off and put your real face back on.
Like that. It's a good thing that's there, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna figure out what went wrong with these teams, and I believe that was leaving on Tazipu, which Tazipu does have his full 10 minutes of delay time. That was Tazipu that left, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was making sure.
My loading screen is incredibly long as well.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready for queue up, as both teams are ready once again.
Okay, I think I'm good now.
Alright, I'm pressing the go button. Of course, it's going to be in the Grand Arena once again, as this is the first map of this best of 3. And the queuing out, but... Are you in game 2 then? Am I good that you just keep queuing?
Yeah, you're good, dude.
Alright.
I take it
has
people
the
saw my
add-on
Skype
on.
picture.
Everyone did get to see your Skype picture, yes.
Whatever, as long as people laughed, right? It's worth it.
Dude, I like that Skype picture. That's a work of art right there. Alright, man. I could never do that. So, the very first map, of course, is in the Grand Arena. I'm putting you guys through it again. Enjoy this intro. Alright, boys, welcome to the Grand Arena. We have I'm Stuck, Evangeline, Dorothy, and Dwayne Wave going up against Tazipu of Church Ameno, previous champions, running that weird compositions, that Survival Hunter, Prot Warrior, Restoration Druid, and Tazipu with his fantastic transmog is going for that female Night Elf dance.
I'm
thing
surprised
that-
they didn't point out Evangeline's X-Mug.
Yeah, Evangeline's Xbox is pretty fantastic, I must say. But what were you gonna say then?
I was gonna say the one thing to note that's important about this matchup is Evangeline by himself is gonna be able to counteract a lot of the CC that this Tazipu of Amano's team can put out. He's gonna be able to bop the Warrior Fear and sack at least 2 of the Hunter's Freedoms. So it's gonna be important that they cross CC Evangeline when they go for that.
Don't like that they're just letting Dorothy's pet build stacks right now. Well, they're finally attacking it, so he's gonna have to pull it back, but that probably built him maybe like 2 stacks for free, and it's still attacking, so Dorothy's gonna start the game really fast if that's the case. But a fear lands onto everyone. Squeaker pushing in, trying to put the pressure onto Dorothy. Full bleeds come up on him with Black Arrow. He's taking quite a bit of damage. Stun onto Dwayne Wave. They might have to bop at 30%. Almost an X. He gets binding try. Trinket deters at 11%. And Dwayne Wave is struggling to keep him alive. 18%. Has to drop the link as well. And this is a bit of a strange opener from my expectations. There's the Bestial Wrath coming up. He gets cloned on his Bestial Wrath. Tazzy into the fist, so he's not going to be able to land the trap. Squeaker might have to use the deterrence nonetheless. 20% HP. Going to be getting that up. And both teams coming out of the initial exchange there. Pretty scared.
And Squeaker's still in a lot of trouble down around 30%. Tazzy popping that Heart of the Wild to get that additional healing out. Ironbark is out on him right now, and he should be able to get topped off here. Dorothy taking a little bit of damage from Squeaker and Memphis Reigns right now, doing his best to still push in and do damage to Squeaker while he can. Tazzy finally caught into that Hodge, and we'll see if Dorothy is able to get a trap out of that. Beautifully done by Squeaker, just sitting on Tazzy, making it very hard for Dorothy to actually get that trap there. And Dorothy taking a significant amount of damage right now. Does pop that feign death down to around 50%, and he does get a big Shaman heal from Dwayne Wayne there, able to top him off.
Yeah, and Dwayne Wave's actually at 50% mana already. Tazzy doesn't have his Trinket, he doesn't have his Ironbark though, so this is the moment they can strike. They land the full Wyvern. They didn't get the Intervene in time. They're probably going to get the half trap out. Bestial Wrath is out. Murder of Crows is out from Dorothy as well. Unfortunately, it was on to Memphis. I'm unsure. Are they trying to swap over to Memphis? I don't know if this is the right decision. He's getting to 60%. Now the full trap lands on the Dwayne Wave. It gets sacked immediately by Evangeline, but now he's out of sacks. Dorothy's still getting pressure. Disengages to the center of the map. Going to root Memphis, but uses the Gnome ratio. Connects right back on him. He gets knocked back after that. Dwayne Wave into the Fear. I think he did pre-Tremor it, so he's going to get out of that Fear clean without having to use the last bop here. Dorothy has recovered reasonably. Ironbark up on a Squeaker. He should be alright with that. And we're just waiting for that stun. The Stormbolt's going to land. The trap comes in. It's going to land, but he had a bleed, I believe. It might not be the bleed effect, actually. He's going to have to sit in the trap eventually with no stacks in the clone as well. Tazzy cross CCing like a boss. Going to force the second deterrence. Black Arrow is still up with a lot of bleeds right now, so he's still taking quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, and I'm Stuck is just taking the brunt end of this damage right here. Dorothy's still down to around 20%. Could just die. 10% gets the bop from Evangeline, as well as the Spirit Link coming out of Dwayne Wayne. He's going to have no more Spirit Links available, and they're going to have to turn it around. Evangeline has his wings up. They're going to look for an opportunity here soon. The next time they can get CC on Tazzy, Evangeline's probably going to pop his wings, and they're going to try to get some sort of counter pressure out, but Dorothy is just taking the brunt end of this exchange.
Yeah, and they put Crows onto Taz. It seems like they're trying to go onto him, but he's line of sighting. He's got Barkskin and his Trinket, so he can Trinket the Fist, he can Barkskin, and he's going to do both, going to Bear from immediately. It's a lot of damage from Red Hunter onto a Restorator. He's got the NS and the Ironbark. That's every CD he has. He's dying through it into killshot range, 10%, 18%, throws the Desperation. He's going to bubble out of it and finish the job, but Dorothy, in the potential cross kill here, is going to go down. In the meantime, now we've got a Prot Warrior Hunter going up against a Ret Paladin Shaman, and I don't see this Resto Shaman losing, but he is taking pressure. 50% HP. Memphis putting on the pain. Full Stormbolt. No Trinket. Sack comes out for the damage reduction, but a full fist on a Squeaker. He's going to Trinket deter. He's going to get that link off if he needs to. He's going to get feared up. Low HP. But he needs to drop it here. Maybe he's still getting hit pretty hard. Squeaker's trying to line of sight, but eventually he's right on his tail. Not going to let him put the pressure that he needs to. Into the binding shot, though. No trap just yet. Disengages away. I think Dwayne Wave is going to be okay, but every time I say it, his HP just gets chunked.
I think he still has a Spirit Link available too, so it's kind of the Unsqueaker using his second deterrence there, and he is just going to flop to a little bit of damage Evangeline could do. Dwayne Wayne popping out that Spirit Link, and it looks like Team I'm Stuck is going to take the first of a very, very close game.
That was actually unbelievable. Let's take a quick look. I think I might have a replay available for you guys of the cross kill. There's Tazzy going down to the wings of the Ret Paladin with every defensive cooldown up, but Dorothy, he had to go down as well, as they did exhaust his defensive cooldowns, and that was the cross kill. And at this point we have a Ret Paladin healer versus a double DPS, and so that is going to give the advantage to Team I'm Stuck, and they're going to take the very first map of this best of 3. But that being said, I mean, I feel like I'm Stuck's opener was pretty rough. They got a lot of Tazzy team got a lot of defensive cooldowns very, very early.
They did, and they burned through the sacks quick too. It's just unfortunate that like he got Hodged and he tried to be greedy. What he did was he got Hodged. He's at full health. He skinned immediately the wings. He should have just trinketed and Displacer Beast and ran, I think. He tried to see how many cooldowns he would have to use, and in that situation, you use everything, or you're going to die through everything.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to just preemptively use cooldowns instead of trying to Yeah, I mean, his team was in such a good position. If he just had used stuff a little bit earlier, a little bit safer, then I think they would have been good after the wet pally or the ret pally wings fell. Rather, I mean, obviously they would have. They got the cross kill.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so the next map chosen by Tazipu's team, as they were the losers of the first map, is going to be Tiger's Peak.
Can you confirm if you can intervene Murder of Crows? I don't think you can.
Ask chat, man.
He used Murder of Crows on Memphis, and I can't believe that that was intentional. I think that had to be a mistake. Or he intervened it, which I'm not sure if you can.
I feel like you could. I mean, but here, I'll see you guys in just 1 minute. It's Tiger's Peak.
So funny. It was so funny, guys, huh?
I love you, man. I know exactly why you were smiling, too. That's great. Alright, boys. Welcome to Tiger's Peak. No! Please, come on. Are you kidding me, dude? I was almost about to make an emote because I mispronounce everything wrong, you know what I mean? Like... So this is Tiger's Peak. This is Tazipu's map choice. Every single time Tazipu is pushed up against the wall, this is the map he turns to. This is the map he knows and loves, and his team is very good at. But I mean,
really Canadian. They like the snow.
That's
yeah,
why.
Is that really why? I actually don't know why they like this map so much. Maybe it just gives them a lot of room.
Oh, wait. Problem?
Looks like they're just gonna straight up leave. I'm gonna figure out what's going on with these teams. And we'll jump right back into it in just a second, guys. So you just get 1 hot minute, and I'll figure out what's going on with them.
But I like what Dorothy does. He just sends his pet in right away because he knows that if he can get 5 stacks before the Fist of Justice, that person is dead. Like even if they react like more or less properly.
Can you explain what that is? I mean,
every time
I
the pet attacks,
don't know what that is. So.
Every time the pet attacks, it has a chance to proc 1 stack of attack power on the pet. I can't remember the exact number.
Is it just that one particular type of pet, or is it all BM Hunter pets?
Any BM Hunter pet.
Oh, okay.
So if their pet's attacking, it'll build up a stack, and what happens is when they're at 5 stacks, they'll blow it, which converts all the attack power into haste, and then that haste scales onto crows and onto barrage. So your crows and barrage, literally, you're melting.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to Taz at the end. So Dorothy is he's really one of the only hunters I think that actually focuses on that, controls it completely, and gets it. And that's why Taz died so fast. And that's why if he didn't just react perfectly greedy or not greedy, if he reacted overly, he would have lived against it. So if he does that, he's probably going to expect. He had all the tools to do it. I just feel like he used them to try and be greedy. And Dorothy is not a player you can be greedy against.
Dorothy's OP, man. He got his pet in the middle of the map somehow.
Yeah, I noticed that actually. His pet was actually in the center of the game when it started. It's in the center of the map right now, actually.
Yeah.
Are we allowing that?
I don't know how to stop that.
His pet's actually in the center of the map.
You think he's actually doing it?
I don't know, but it's going to be an advantage that it gets across and gets stacks right away.
That's true, huh?
He's controlling it, I think. Look at it.
Alright, I'll tell him. I mean, I can't necessarily, I don't have a rule specifically
I guess
preventing that.
Look, there it is, the pet is already in there.
Yeah, it's already in there. Birdie's going
Building
ham.
those stacks up. Dorothy bringing out all the stops.
That's OP, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like he did. I think he's actually listening to stream, as he didn't necessarily nab the snacks. Like he just had kind of played with it a little bit. Yeah. So
the snacks.
Connecting on to Dorothy here. Stormbolt cloned onto Evangeline. They won't be able to sack the trap. He trinkets to sack. Good opening play from Evangeline here. Crows coming out on both sides. Dorothy and Squeaker getting hit hard. Ironbark is up on the side of Menno, but Dorothy's taking the brunt still. Dwayne Wave's trying to play catch up right now. The Pro Warrior has that purge, so he's purging off the Earth Shield and the Riptide constantly, which is why Dwayne Wave has to cast a heal through this, and he's having a hard time. Squeaker at 50% eats the trap. Dorothy's going to get topped off for the Unleash heal, but now into the full fear. They might have to bop this out. They're going to bop the fear to keep Dorothy top, to keep him offensive. Squeaker still dipping low, but we're going to have to wait for that next round of CC. Tazzy blowing the Heart of the Wild here, very offensive to try and keep his team topped and in here and on top of Dorothy. They have to get through those sacks really quickly. Fist of Justice though into Tazzy. The swap comes out. He barks. Can he trinket displacers? He's not going to be greedy with that play, but unfortunately that wasn't the Murder of Crows, so Dorothy's still going to have a lot of damage here in 15 seconds that Taz is going to have to be worried about.
Yeah, Evangeline chases Tazipu and gets put into that bash cyclone. Meanwhile, Dorothy taking a lot of damage here. Evangeline not going to be able to help him out at all. If Dwayne Wayne gets put into any CC, Evangeline won't be able to sack that. And Dwayne Wayne actually gets locked out there by Squeaker. Well done by him. Dorothy forced into that deter because of that. And they're just not really able to get too much damage on the Squeaker right now. Tazzy put into that Wyvern into Hodge, but he got the Ironbark on the Squeaker.
That's
now
it.
Tizzy,
That's
a
it.
lot of damage coming out on
Dead.
the Tazzy to the Hodge, and he's just
That
dead.
was the swap. It was for the crows.
Yeah,
That's
you called
it.
that. That was good call, dude.
Wow.
I didn't see that.
I fought that team so many. That's it. That's what it is.
Team, I'm
So-
stuck 2-0ing Tazipu of Church Ame. No, but they're not dead. They're not eliminated, guys. It is now double elimination, so Tazipu of Church Ame no will now go to the losers bracket. So there it is. Welcome to tournament number 10, and we'll just jump right into the next match. Let's take a quick look at the bracket. Boom, there's the bracket. Rest in peace, Twitch chat is going to be going up against Season 8 next. And just a reminder, guys, a reminder to the people who are on my real ID, but also just letting all of you guys know, Series D will happen before Series C. So just keep that in your memory. Put it in your back pocket. So
Did
it's
you
going.
say Series C will happen before D?
D is going to happen before C.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to have Scouts Honor and versus the Boys Are Back before Double Bubble and Boo Brothers go to Alaska. But the next matchup is going to be Rest in Peace Twitch Chat, Inviolable Law, and I Love My Cat EXO versus Naj, Gex, aka Deja Vu, and Tymelia. That's happening in just a second. In 1 hot minute. Any predictions for this next matchup, guys?
Jungle Cleave versus RMD. I mean,
Yeah.
I doubt they're gonna play Priest. Maybe they will. I don't know.
They might. I don't know.
Yeah, I actually don't know when a Priest is better than a Druid as that comp.
It might not even be a matter of what's better. I think it is a matter of
Comfortableness, too, right?
Really?
Wait, who is the priest? Is this Swayze?
I don't think so. No, it's not Swayze. It
no, no,
is.
it's not Swayze.
I'll tell you right now. I have it open.
My screen goes white whenever I try and open the team list, so I can't look.
It's
It's
Deja
Gex.
Vu, Gax, yeah.
Okay.
And then Shifty is the Druid.
I mean, it could also come down to who's online. Like, I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
the teams aren't ready, and what if Shifty's not here, so then they have to put Gex in, so all the predictions might not mean anything if somebody's not here, which can
That's
happen
true.
once in
That's
a while.
exactly what I was saying. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure the only reason why they would put the Priest in over Shifty is because Shifty's not available to play.
Yeah, it's a sad reality.
Yeah,
You
but
gotta.
I give
bench
them
this
credit
Priest.
for the heart, man. They're like,
The RMP warrior spirit.
yeah, the warrior spirit. Yeah. So it looks like there is a quick delay on one of the teams. They need 2 minutes, but of course we do have that 10-minute rule for a reason. So we already gave them that 10-minute warning, and we'll be jumping into it shortly.
I still think RMP could beat Jungle. I mean, the one weakness of Druid, like Resto Druid versus Jungle, is the Resto Druid can die. And I don't know how easily Disc Priest would die to Jungle Cleave.
Yeah.
I don't even think they'd consider going him. I think with like the passive, there's like 30% damage reduction, I don't think they're going to consider going him.
Is
They're
that
just
why
gonna sit
priests? Sorry, going into like brainstorming here. Is that why priests are considered bad? Is because they're so vulnerable to being swapped to, or is it something else?
No.
He was
Priests, I
saying the
think, are
opposite, that they're
tankier.
hard-
I think,
they're hard.
actually, yeah.
Priests-
Against certain things, they're tankier.
I think priests are weak just because they don't have a lot of healing.
Instant
Like,
healing.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of instant healing. So when their team's getting rotted down, they just have to sit there and channel so hard, and they just can't.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Jungle Cleave would be actually, I think, a decent one. I mean, and even if they do go on Gex, then he has Fear. He can like Fear the Feral Druid, like, and they can swap a lot. I feel like they're gonna have to swap a lot when they play with the Priest. Whereas Druid, I think they could be more safe to just tunnel one person. And again, it depends on how offensive Gex gets to be. Because if he gets Fears, it could be really good as well, like Force Bubble or Bop, like
yeah,
early
another
on.
thing. Another thing is having that priest dispel to remove bot
Yeah.
and to remove the pally sack and to remove the pally bubble. So like you can see some key MDs in this matchup, which may play into it. So,
How is that tea, Glink's ass? It's delicious. I actually, Venruki, I'm drinking some matcha right now.
whoa, what?
What?
Wow.
Good job.
Well,
Okay,
I don't know.
matcha.
My local, I have like this weird, like local grocery store, and they have like this like dusty tea section that no one ever goes in, because I guess I'm the only one who goes and buys tea there. And like in the very last shelf, the bottom shelf, covered in dust, was like this little container of matcha, and it was $8. I'm like, yep, trying it out.
But is that the first time you ever had it?
Yeah, well, not this
time.
What
do you think?
First time I've ever bought it. Yeah. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a little sweeter than I thought it was gonna be, but I like it.
It's sweet.
It's a little sweet, yeah.
Oh, it's not supposed to be sweet.
I think it's probably because I mix a little bit of honey in it. That probably makes it better. But I assumed that it was going to need it, but I don't think it does need the honey. I think I should just drink it without.
A lot of matcha you can buy in stores, it already has like sugar and stuff in it.
Yeah.
They give you, like,
I've never had matcha.
I think
I've
it's
never
good.
had tea really, so I don't even know what this taste is considered at all. You're like talking about matcha sounds like some Italian word to me, and I don't know what it means. It might not even be Italian. What does matcha stand for?
I don't know. I have no idea what it stands for. I know it's like a ceremonial thing, but one thing that I'm pretty like aware of, like effects that occur on my body, specifically with caffeine. I like get shakes when I drink just a little bit.
Your legs start shaking? Yeah.
Yeah. So like, but I haven't had jitters at all with this so far, so I'm pretty pleased. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and press the Q button as both teams are ready. The very first map of this best of 3 is going to be on the Grand Arena. I'm so excited. All of these teams are just so good, man. Every single team.
That's what makes it exciting. You don't know who's gonna win. Oh man, there's gonna be so many good games today.
Oh my god! All right, so the very first map of this best of 3, of course, is the Grand Arena. Alright boys, welcome back to the Grand Arena. So, it is going to be an RMP, P for Priest, going up against Jungle Cleave. And both teams, I don't know, is there an advantage here?
Is everyone in this game, by the way?
Yeah, the Priest cooldowns isn't loading for me.
You're going to / reload.
I just reloaded, it took more cooldowns away from me.
I'm not doing it, pressing it though.
Don't do it. I'm just gonna hope it fixes when the door opens.
I think it will fix when the doors open. Yeah, it gives you one more refresh. So
I don't have the Feral Druid or the Priest, so
yeah. I'm just gonna run it.
Early Pet Nova coming out, the gouge onto Inviable, trying to find a target here. He did sacrifice the Deep Freeze here. They need to get the sack off. They do get it. He's gonna land the Fear. That's the early Fear that he needs to get. They need to get the Polymorph out of it as well. He's going for the Poly. It's fortunately not gonna land just yet. And he popped the Avenging Rat to heal through the early damage here from the Adrenaline Rush from Naj. So he's gonna be able to keep him top. And now finally into the Poly, Incarnation comes out, but it's not doing anything. He's the one that's in trouble. 30% saved by the Light Procs. Finally, the full trap is landed, but now he goes into the half Kidney. Ore Mastery has to come out to cast here. The Frost Jaw is going to get immune because of that Ore Mastery, and Tymelia is still getting pressured now. Polymorph gets locked out. He's going to just answer all these cooldowns with a block. He's still going to have another one in the back of all of this, and I love my cat going for some Cyclones. The Killing Spree coming out, though. Deep Freeze on the Law, taking him to 50%. Law should be able to top him out of it, but now into the full Fear. They need to stop this Poly.
Yeah, hopefully they can. Law is out of that CC, finally able to get some heals out. The Smoke Bomb comes out from Naj on I Love My Cat. Law actually having to bubble that Polymorph. Finally going to be able to top off I Love My Cat. Gex actually trinkets that trap from Inviable, trying to keep Tymelia offensive as possible. But now Law has no bubble and no trinket, and Gex has no trinket. So Law finally caught into that full blind. The kidney shot comes out on the I Love My Cat, and this could just be the end. The wall comes out. It's about to fade. We'll see if Tymelia has some damage for that. The full sheep comes out onto Law. I Love My Cat down to around 20%. I don't know how he's surviving right now. Saved by the Light comes out. Law into another sheep. He's just sitting in that bear form, tanking a lot of damage. And Law still in CC with the Deep Freeze into Frost Jaw, still at 50%, isn't dead, and finally goes down. Naj, not completely safe, but he is going to get topped off by Gex there. But wow.
Oh, wait! He's actually dead! He is actually dead right now. Okay, I need a minute here, please. Can I? Yeah, he's actually dead right now. That is a huge throw, I think.
Yeah, I actually can't believe that just happened. But I think this is one of those situations, if I had to guess, it's going to be really hopeless for Tymelia and Gex. It's
interesting. I had a 2v2 the other day from an RMD it came down to a 2v2, and Mage Druid actually wasn't too bad. It had a lot of CC, and actually Gex is going for a res. They're going to stop it. Not letting any cheeky reses getting off. And Viable could go down. Deep Freeze onto Law. No way out of it. 30%. They need more CC. Gex is trying to get the poly. Goes in for the silence. Lands the full fear. Bets overlaps. Doesn't matter, though. And Viable has 2 deterrences. He's trying to save it. Saved by the Light's going to proc. He's line of sighting really well here. But even though you thought maybe the Mage Priest might be hopeless here, but they have a lot of CC. So if they can chain this up over and over and over, I see them being able to win. Even Penance is coming in offensive. Full Trap's going to land, but Tymelia is just not taking any damage.
Yeah, you might be right, actually. I might have a skewed opinion of this matchup. Gex going into the Hodge, the Pain Step coming out onto Tymelia right now, so he's not going to be taking too much damage, but Law's just trying to avoid as much CC as possible. Inviable still has double deter left. The Deep Freeze comes in onto Law, the Sheep. It's going to be short because of that freedom. Well done by Law putting that up on himself. And Inviable still taking a lot of damage. Another Sheep comes out onto Law, and he's going to get feared out of this. Gex just standing on top of him. Fear does come out. Did he get knocked away?
Oh, I think he did get knocked away. He threw the silence out, but unfortunately it's not going to sit for very long. But Inviable might go down anyway. The Aura Mastery comes out to try and negate the CS. Offensive Penance is coming in. The only way I really see Gex losing at this point is if he runs out of mana. I feel like Tymelia is safe with the amount of cooldowns he has, and there's the full poly landed. They're trying to pressure Inviable right now. He's going to try his best to line of sight back here. I'm not too sure if he is playing Spirit Bond or Ironhawk. I'm actually just going to take a second and look to make sure. I think if he's playing Spirit Bond, they might be able to win, but I think he's playing... Yeah, he's playing Ironhawk, so he doesn't have that heal. And that's why he's taking so much damage every time the mage gets CC, and he has to line of sight the orb right now. Tymelia rebuffing right now, goes into the Frost Shot, Viable Feign Deathing, trying to fake his own death here at 50%. But Gex needs to get a Fear chained out of the Polymorphs here, or Law's just going to have an easy time healing him, and his mana is still kind of hurting. He's going for the Spectral guys. He's actually trying to run away from the trap, I believe. Binding Shot's going to trigger. He blinks out. There's the full Fist of Justice. They're trying to land the full trap out of it. Trank Shot's being spammed out here. Gex does get full trap. Tymelia not able to get to it. He's going to trinket it and pop the Power Infusion to top Tymelia and go for the Polymorphs to pressure Inviable. He still does have 2 deterrences, but I think not having Spirit Bond is going to be what kills him. Full Fear onto Law. No way out. Saved by the Light's going to proc. Shadow Fiend even out from Gex. He's going to be throwing the offensive Penance. Frost Shot comes out now. A little bit more CC, and that's going to be it for Inviable. Into the silence, 15% and 18%. He still has the deterrences. He's just not using them. Doesn't want to. Being so greedy. Deterrence at 15%, but I don't know what Law can do other than try and stall it out for Gex to go
Yeah, and Law's actually now put into a full Sheep on those wings. Inviable does not have Saved by the Light up. So he might have to use that second deter there. Gets put into that Deep Freeze. He does have Trinket Deter available. Does pop that. Deterrence out of the Deep Freeze. Law still not out of CC. Into the Fear. The Frost Shot is going to come out from Tymelia, and Viable will just die. Or he's not dead. It was the Feign Death trick me. And he does get catches a huge heal from Law. Up to around 100% HP now. I actually thought he died. So it was a good Feign Death, even tricking me.
The Crow's coming out. Hodge and the Gex, they need the trap, though. They're not getting it. Denounce is coming in. Law wants to kill Tymelia now, but he still has 2 blocks and Cold Snap and Amplify Magic. I don't see Tymelia dying outside a random global, which is pretty unlikely, as Inviable's running for his life almost the entire time. Throwing the Explosive Trap out as well to try and knock people back into the last poly. Gex maybe trying to go for a Fear out of this. He's going to land the full Fear. They're trying to push it in on Inviable, but he's hiding the best that he can. Comet Storm coming in. Ice Nova connects. They need a Deep Freeze maybe, but he's out of deterrences. They don't even need to deep him. They could deep Law at this point and just do damage to kill him. I'm not sure if Tymelia still has the Water Elemental. Inviable hasn't taken the time to kill that, so Tymelia still has that advantage. Deep Freeze now onto Law, going for the poly. He didn't fake the counter shot, but he's going to get the Frost Draw, giving him more time to get a Fear possibly here and then a poly. Just going to get the poly with no freedom on it, so you might have to bubble this as there are no deterrences available, but it's really looking hopeless.
Yeah, and Gex actually went and sat down for a drink there, and Viable down to around 25%. Law having to bubble that Fear, patiently waits for the Fear, bubbles it. The Hodge comes out onto Gex, and Tymelia forced into that block right now. If you look at the cooldowns, and Viable and Lost both still have their trinkets. Actually, I'm not sure about Gex. Does he have his trinket? My UI is bugged out.
Can't see it, so...
Yeah, I don't know if he has his trinket. The next time he gets Hodge trapped, it could be trouble. I mean, Tymelia has 1 block left. Cold Snap's going to be up in 3 minutes, so if they can maybe force that block, I don't know. Dampening's at around 13% right now, and Viable going to trinket that Deep Freeze There's going to be no follow-up CC on Law, but they did get the trinket out of the way on Inviable. And yeah, here comes the Hodge onto Gex. Tymelia just standing on top of him, making it a nightmare to get that trap, and he does eat the trap from Inviable. So no CC going to be coming out onto Gex, and they're going to try their best to force Law into the Deep Sheep Fear and burst down Inviable as fast as they can.
Yeah, Spectral Guys comes out. He's already on top of Law right now to land the full fear. So if he trinkets any of this, Deep Freeze, no trinket. Law needs to consider trinketing here. He's going to get put into the half poly now. It's a desperation mode because if he trinkets, he eats a full fear. There's a full fear. Going to trinket it possibly into a silence, but he aura masteries before it. Luckily, Gex not throwing the silence into that. Into the Fist of Justice now, trying to land the trap. The Crows are coming out though. Tymelia getting pressured. He needs this trap though to be able to finish Tymelia, and he's just not throwing it off. He doesn't feel comfortable trapping underneath the Water Elemental, and Tymelia just standing right on top of him, even spamming Polymorphs onto Inviable to give Gex the time he needs. And the drink that you said earlier is what's paying off for Gex right now. He still has one more block. Now is the full Deep Freeze onto Law, going for the poly. The poly's going to land. He didn't manage to pre-freedom it, so it's going to be a full duration poly, no way out. Inviable with no trinket as well. They need a little bit more CC into the half poly, but he sacked it before the poly came out. Now into the silence. Gex desperately chasing, but he got concussive shot. He's not able to keep up to get the fear. He's going to wait for it to fade and then go for it with another feather. But Inviable might just go down here if this fear lands. There's the full fear, 30%. He's going to get that deterrence off, luckily, at 22%. Dampening stacking higher and higher, though. Frostjaw onto Law. Full poly. No way out. No deterrences. No trinket. Deep Freeze comes in. Saved by the Light is shredded. Shadow Word Pain coming out. Offensive penances and smites coming in as well, but he somehow lived. The Fist of Justice now. The Crow's coming out. He's trying to pressure pre-pain suppression at full health here to try and save an Ice Block. And Inviable not going down when I expected, trying to turn it around with the Barrage.
Yeah, and Inviable is going to have his trinket up here shortly too. Tymelia taking the brunt of the damage. Frostshot coming out onto Law. Inviable still at a lot of damage. It's still taking a lot of damage. He's in the middle of the map right now. Law caught into that full fear. The Deep Freeze comes out onto Inviable. He's just going to trinket that immediately to try to stop any follow-up CC on Law. I think he did interrupt the poly, so well done by him. But that's his trinket. I mean, Law does have his trinket coming up, but Inviable is just dead. That was crazy. Yeah, that's not
he tried to fake us out again.
Huh.
Wow. So we're at 28% dampening there, as you can imagine. You want a healer DPS versus healer DPS, but I thought that the Hunter healer had an advantage, but I guess
he didn't have Spirit Bond. That's 100% what makes the difference. Because the whole time he's line of sighting at 60% health, he's not healing. If he had Spirit Bond lining back there, he'd be full health every time the mage goes for CC, and then the mage never gets any pressure because he runs out of damage. But because he went Ironhawk because it's RMD and expected to get bursted, it backfired in the 2v2.
Just better in the 3. Yeah, you don't expect it. It's really strange too to see that these. I mean, how often on live do you see 2v2s? And for some reason, every time there's a tournament, I don't know what happens, but it just seems like it always. There's just so often it goes into a 2v2. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. So the very first map of that best of 3 series is actually going to go to the RMP, excuse me. Can't get that wrong.
I'm just going to be a little bit less reckless at the end of the game, though. You imagine it's like you get the kill. Yeah, good job, team. Wait, I'm dead!
I actually thought he was going to live, too. He got low. Got, like, topped off. I don't even know what happened.
Murder of crows, man. Murder of crows. It kills everyone.
Oh, my
Nobody
goodness.
can escape the crows. I can't copy Dillypoo's cacaw, though. He does a very authentic cacaw.
Cacaw?
Yeah, the crow noise. I don't know.
Goodness.
I could try and impersonate it, but I would embarrass myself.
I don't even know what it sounds like.
You don't know what a crow sounds like?
I know what a crow sounds like, but what is
like a caw.
That sounds pretty good. I mean, like, the actual... Alright, man. The next map is going to be Ruins of Hunter on. Gonna queue right up. Press the Q button! Oh, please! Hello? I'm gonna press the Q button again, man. It looks like one team isn't accepting the Q for whatever reason. Not sure, maybe they're talking about strats and whatnot. I'm gonna give them a few more minutes here. And so, this is just a best of 3, so one more win for this RMP, and it's gonna knock Rest in Peace Twitch chat to the losers bracket, which will be competing tomorrow, or actually next week, excuse me. So the next map of this best of 3 chosen by Rest in Peace Twitch chat is going to be Ruins of Orderon. See you guys in there. everybody, welcome to Ruins of Orderon. It is RMP versus Jungle Cleave, but this is a smaller map. Do you think this is going to give a significant advantage to the Jungle Cleave, or what do you think is going to happen here?
I think the Priest is actually a lot less scary to have on your team against Jungle Cleave. I don't know why. It's just because the potential to go Gex doesn't exist for some reason, or maybe it's not experimented enough because nobody really plays RMP a lot. But it feels like Gex is actually a little bit more safer than bringing Arrested Druid.
Yeah, in this map, it's going to be even easier for Gex to get fears on the law. You know, running in after the polymorphs. Such a small map. He's going to have an easy time. And he's just going to run in and get a fear instantly. And Law just starts the game in a fear. Inviolable, the orb coming out from Tymelia. He's caught in that kidney shot. The full sheep coming out onto Law. And Inviol's probably going to have to use his first deterrence here.
Swap.
And the swapping over, I mean, their whole team's dead.
What is
going on? I don't even know who they're on right now. But Inviolable at 15% HP, caught into that deterrence. Law finally getting out of CC, popping that the wings. And he does get deeped on his Aura Mastery wings. And Inviolable still not out of the woods yet. Law desperately getting out his heals. The sack comes out. But this RMP has had an amazing opener.
Yeah, definitely. That was the killing spree. Nosh popping the evasion and cloak here to try and stay offensive. Tymelia, though, with the crows getting pressured at 30%, has to get the block. Going to get it off before the kill shot range comes in. But the full trap is sniped out by Inviolable. He's not going to be able to top him out just yet. Finally coming out of CC. Power Infusion Penance is going to connect to Tymelia. Top him off with the Power Word Shield. Full blind. Going to get bopped immediately. Now cheap shots into Inviolable, though. Tymelia pushing up. Deep freeze into the full poly. Did pre-freedom it, but the fear onto I Love My Cat. Inviolable completely alone. Has the deterrence. Going to answer it here immediately. A clone thrown onto Gex to try and counter pressure Tymelia at all. He does have one block remaining. Inviolable, though, just near death, and the kidney shot onto I Love My Cat to peel that incarnation. So really well timed kidney by Nosh, and pops the evasion immediately, so he can't get swapped to as well. Wyvern Sting trying to come out by Inviolable here, but it's not going out just yet. He's waiting for the DR, I would believe. And Gex actually shadow meld the Wyvern Sting, so he's going to avoid that completely. Now the Hodge comes up, but the trap should be DR'd from the Wyvern. It's not actually. I don't know where the Wyvern went if it didn't. And Tymelia's getting pressured with the full trap at 50%. The paint sub came out. Smoke bomb's coming down as well to reduce the damage. Inviolable into a full poly right now. The RMP just playing peels until that full poly does finally connect onto Law. And I Love My Cat getting swapped to. Has one survival instincts left, but Law uses his bubble to try and heal. It gets MD'd by Gex. Tymelia getting pressured, though. Gex needs to heal him as well and stay offensive. Both players at 30%. They should be reasonably okay now as the cooldowns fade, though.
Yeah, Law actually having to use Trinket and Bubble there. Tymelia down to 40%. Gex into the Hodge. Tymelia is probably going to have to end up using a second block. There it is. But in the meantime, I Love My Cat got into that kidney, and Law's just going to instantly bop that. This is a scary place for Tymelia's team to be in, but at the same time, Law has no more healing cooldowns. He has nothing to get out of any CC, so if they can catch him in a chain and turn it around on Inviolable, he has no deterrences either. Both teams running out of cooldowns here. This is a very high-pressure situation. Here comes the kidney shot onto I Love My Cat. Full fear onto Law. This could be huge trouble for I Love My Cat. Down to around 40%. The full sheep coming out onto Law. He has no ways to break. He's going to be stuck in all this CC. I Love My Cat desperately kiting Gex caught into the full trap. They're trying to turn it around onto Tymelia here, but Law still not out of CC. The Frostjaw comes in. I Love My Cat having to pop that survival instincts down to around 30%, but it's going to fade in a couple seconds. Law finally able to get a huge heal, and Tymelia is just dead.
They had no block.
That's crazy.
No block.
That was a really close game, man. So this is now 1-1. But what were you gonna say, Ben?
I was gonna say I can't even believe it.
I can't believe he died either. I was watching it. That's why I screamed.
Yeah.
What the heck? So good thing I have a replay.
Like attack you? Yeah, I guess we'll see in the replay.
Yeah, so I Love My Cat XO. He's taking so much damage, and these guys are running out of defensive cooldowns, and Law is just trapped in so much CC. I Love My Cat, that's the Frostjaw, the Garrote onto I Love My Cat XO. So much damage is falling on top of him, even with Roar Sacrifice and everything. But look at Tymelia, he's dropping down, and he ends up flopping. So there it is. They got out of that CC, they picked up the Feral Druid, and Tymelia's team just ran out of stuff to... I mean, he was out of blocks, there was no pain suppression available, and Gex wasn't necessarily in CC for the entire time, but you need those big buttons.
Feral Druid, though.
He did penance the
Feral. He was like offensive with the Feral in that full kidney. He was penanceing him. I don't know if that would have meant life or death, but with how quickly he died, I don't think it would have saved him. But they definitely got through the ice blocks very quickly, so as long as the Jungle Cleave can get through them, then... Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No. I was going to say is, Law didn't actually have to, I mean, although that was a really scary opener for them, Law didn't use anything. He didn't use Trinket, he didn't use his bubble, so I mean, after he sort of recovered, he still had all his cooldowns left to go on throughout the game. He didn't panic. He didn't use everything. He just let his team. I believe all that really happened was Saved by the Light came out onto both of them, and Inviolable used one deter through that really, really scary opener.
Well, he used in the opener?
Yeah.
I was going to say overall in the game, I don't think Law had anything left at the end.
No, not at the end. I'm just saying the opener. Like
Yeah.
when both his teammates were at like 20%, he still he didn't use anything, so he had them later on in the game.
Alright, so the map chosen by this RMP is going to be Tiger's Peak to finish off this best of 3 series. The next win between these two teams is going to determine who's going to advance in the winners bracket and who's going to go and compete in the losers next week. So I'm going to press the go button one more time as we jump into this map, and I'll see you guys in there in just a hot minute. Alright boys, welcome to Tiger's Peak. Is there really a clear advantage in this map? I feel like this is one of those maps where there isn't going to be a significant advantage to either teams, but how do you guys feel?
We just saw it can go both ways, so...
Yeah.
Even on Ruins. Very, very interesting. I'm not getting a lot of... I think?
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, I don't think this maps really play too big of a factor in this particular matchup.
Yeah. Do you guys have both? Oh yeah, it was me. The UI was bugged. I'm good now.
Yeah, Gex's cooldowns never work for me at all. Everyone else's now. I blame Gex.
This UI isn't configured for Disc Priest because
it just broke. What is that? I don't know how to register this.
What is that thing?
Let's see. Gex repping the Disc Priest though, if they can pull it off here. Early Pet Nova coming out, Blizzard as well, but I love my cat positioned outside of it. Early Kidney, Mark for Death, Double Abyss here soon coming out from Naj into Inviable, trying to force some sort of CD, but nothing coming out. I would imagine the Roar Sacrifice. He does get cloned. Fist onto Gex. They need to land the trap. He's coming out of the Kidney just in time to try and snag it. He goes for the Wyvern Sting. That's going to land instead. Crows comes out. He paint suppressions immediately, 60%, but Inviable. Comet Storm comes in, 30%. He might have to deter while he's going offensive. The Avenging Wrath Execution Sentence, Lay on Hands effect. Barrage now connecting onto Tymelia at 60%, but Gex is no longer in CC. Nice silence onto the Cyclone to stop that from Gex as well, using his utility efficiently. The Incarnation coming out from I Love My Cat, but it's not really accomplishing too much just yet. 50% on Tymelia. Smoke Bomb comes down, going to be reducing the damage as well. Deep Freeze comes out, Killing Spree onto Inviable. Deterrence immediately. I like that deterrence.
Yeah, sort of a preemptive deter to stop that Killing Spree damage, but Law caught into the full sheep and Bible, trying desperately to kite away, and kites to Law, and the Frost Nova breaks the sheep on Law. He does get put into that fear, he's going to trinket that immediately. That was well done by Inviable, getting Tymelia to break his own CC. Tymelia is still taking a good amount of damage. Gex going to grip him away. Full kidney shot coming out onto Inviable. The Frost Jaw comes out onto Law. Inviable sitting around 50% HP. Both Tymelia and Inviable taking a significant amount of damage right now. Law caught into the full sheep. There's no CC out on the Gex, so Inviable's in a lot of trouble here. The half sheep comes out. Tymelia is getting topped off by Gex right now. Saved by the Light comes out onto Inviable. Law caught into another fear. It seems like the CC chain is just endless, but at the same time, Tymelia down to 40%. The Wyvern comes out onto Gex. Inviable having to use that deter, and Tymelia having to use this block. Both teams just having to use so many cooldowns.
Yeah, definitely. Cold Snap even coming out from Tymelia as well. He's going to have that little burst healing later on. The full fist lands. Law with the Avenging Wrath should be able to keep Inviable alive as long as he doesn't get CC'd. Tymelia with the Crows kind of getting global now. In Hypothermia, full clone onto Gex. This might be it. He's spamming the spell steal to try and stay alive. Throws out a Deep Freeze. Double Fear lands by Gex though. And he's still in trouble. He gets locked on the Frost Shot. Killing Spree though coming out onto Inviable, taking quite a bit of damage. Law answers that with the bubble, but is it enough? No deterrence is left. 50% Law spamming the Word of Glories, trying to keep Inviable alive for that next push. Gex unable to master spell it until way too late. A defensive clone onto Naj. Tymelia still getting pressure, but luckily the Hypothermia has faded. He should be alright with that second block now.
Yeah, he's going to have that block available and another block available in 2 minutes. And Babel has no trinkets and no deterrences, though. Law caught into that full deep freeze. The full kidney shot comes out onto Babel. Law caught into the sheep. And Babel down to around 30%. And this could just be the game. He tries to feign death, try to avoid as much damage as possible. Law gets a global off, gets blinded, bops it immediately, trying to get out those heals. But at the same time, Tymelia put into a second block. The DR trap comes out onto Gex. And Tymelia and Inviable both have no cooldowns left whatsoever.
Yeah,
Inviable's good.
Ooh, still really low. Frostjaw comes out. Unfortunately, the Freedom not breaking the silence effect of that, which is strange. Now into the full poly. That's probably it. Kidney lands. That's completely it. This is overkill. He trinkets at the last second. And into the half poly he goes, though. 12% disengaged. Trying to run. Fear lands. 5%. No miracle cross kills here. Naj instantly cheap shots. I love my cat. Not going to be taking Tymelia down to a 2v2 this time around. But Gex was completely
Yeah,
so if they could have... Yeah, it could have swung. I like this. This is an interesting matchup. Incarn comes out. I love my cat trying to do something. Naj is like, no, you can't do anything. Kidney shot. You're dead.
I'm a rogue.
You have no fun.
Yeah, I'm a rogue.
All right. So, that is going to be the last match of this series, and Season 8 will advance. We're going to take a quick commercial break here. I'll go show you guys the in-game stuff so you can see the time in CC. 58 seconds on Gex, and then we also have, but look at the time in CC for this jungle. 43, 43, 34. It's crazy. Alright. Alright guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break as we get the next two teams ready. Like I said before, we're going to do Group D before C. So stay tuned for that. We'll be right back. I'll see you guys in just a few minutes.
Who are you?
Charles Surrender from Rimp Road.
You're gonna get them nerfed.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going to jump right into this next best of 3 series between these two teams. We're getting the teams ready right now. We got Scout's Honor versus the boys are back. We have the Jungle versus another RMD. Instead of an RMD, it's an RMP. Any predict? Well, actually, I don't know.
Wait,
the
it's
boys
an RMP again?
No, it's an RMD. I'm pretty
It's
sure.
already in God Comp, so they might play God Comp.
Would a God Comp
You think
be
God
better
Comp in a
against
jungle?
I don't know. Probably not. Probably going to be RMD.
It's not a good time for the Shadow Priest, I don't think.
No, I actually think it's really hard for them. So it'll probably end up being RMD.
Alright, well, I'll jump right into this best of 3 series. It looks like both teams are ready. I'm pressing the go button. Both invites have gone out, and we're queued up. The very first map of this best of 3 is in the Grand Arena.
Beanslayer wins this game, he's going to send that selfie pic to his mom. Look, I won.
I would. Look, Mom!
Look, Mom!
Won my first WoW game!
Oh my gosh! Alright, man, so this is God Comp versus Jungle. They aren't playing RMD. I'm very excited to see this.
I think this is... Yeah, I think this is traditionally a hard matchup for God Comp. But we'll see.
I'm still reloading my UI a bunch to try and get the cooldowns because I'm missing way too many. Oh, I'm missing even more now. This sucks.
Yeah, I'm missing a lot too.
Yeah, I'm not sure what changed. I don't know.
Alright, I only have Gareki now, so let's improvise.
Do it.
Early Frostbolt's coming out from Jamili, obviously building the icicles up for that push. Beanslayer still sitting in stealth, waiting for that time to pounce. He's going to pounce Jamili, blinks immediately out of it. Frozen Orb comes down, defreeze out, disarm onto Gareki, possibly a bash out if Rin can position for it. He's not going to be able to get it. Feign Death comes out. He's trying to live with just the Roar Sacrifice at 60% HP, pulling back to Huge Sack in the back line, who should be able to top him off. But Saved by the Light's going to proc. They shred through it with the Devouring Plague and Ice now with Jamili going for more Polymorphs. Not going to be able to get them. Rin's playing very far back right now, a little bit nervous to push up with all the CC available. The Wyvern's going to land. He couldn't Shadow Meld. He had Fairy Fire by Beanslayer, so good Fairy Fire, but the fear on the Beanslayer gets dispelled by Fusion there very quickly. Now the half trap lands. Murder Crow's up in the Whizkay. They're trying to get it dispersed here, but his HP is just not moving. The Iron Bark comes out. He got bashed with NS, but I don't think Gareki's going to be able to trank shot it off, as it did recently get nerfed, so he's going to get the NS off, unfortunately. Now Beanslayer into the bash. They're swapping to him. Shadow Fiend Comet Storm coming down. He trinkets immediately to try and get back onto Jamili, but there's the defreeze landing. Full clone out of that. Beanslayer in a bit of trouble here.
And Jamili using that defreeze and gets interrupted on that polymorph. A Huge Sack silence out on him. The offensive clone coming out from Rind on the Beanslayers, denying any of that healing. Huge Sack caught into the DR Fear, but he should be able to get some heals out on the Beanslayer after that. The War Mastery comes out, just spamming up those heals. Meanwhile, Jamili down to around 40% HP. Rind sitting as far back as possible, getting out those heals, but he is caught into that full ribbon, and Jamili could be in a little bit of trouble right now. But at the same time, Gareki gets down to around 60% HP, having to use that deterrence immediately. Shade by the Light comes out as well. Both teams under a lot of pressure right now. The Word of Glory coming out from Huge Sack. Jamili at around 65% HP. Good CC by Rind onto Beanslayer, stopping some of that damage. Trying desperately to top off Jamili right now, but the Hodge comes out onto Rind. The Bash comes out onto Whizkay, and Jamili in a situation where he's in a 1v3. Rind into the cloned. Jamili just kiting, trying to survive, avoid as much damage as possible so he doesn't have to use that ice block. And he's going to get topped off by Rind, but that was crazy.
Yeah, and Gareki now into the full bash. No trinket, one deter left if he can survive it, but there might be a Horrify afterwards. He's actually going for the Wyvern, singing. Rin Shadow Melds the Wyvern. Devouring Play comes up, but he did sacrifice the Polymorph, so Huge Sack with a Huge Sack there. Going to get out of that Polymorph immediately, keep Gareki at 50%. Whizkay getting pressured now, but he still has his dispersion available. Now DR Poly, Devouring Play coming up onto Gareki. Has his trinket in 7 seconds. A Fear for Cross CC on the Beanslayer stops. They actually got the Cyclone before the Fear, so luckily they should be able to get some form of counter pressure, some semblance of damage right now, but it's just not happening. Rind rebuffing even in the meantime to keep Whizkay fully hot. He's just going to get cloned by Beanslayer. Huge Sack with the Avenging Wrath, keeping his team totally top. Barrage comes out with the Fist of Justice. Jamili taking a bunch of damage in the center of the map. Might want to reposition. Has to use the Ice Block because of that. It's going to be his last Ice Block. If there was an opportunity here for Beanslayer and Gareki, this is it.
And Beanslayer, I think, is going to have his incarnation up soon. I can't actually see his cooldown, but I think he hasn't used it in a while. Huge sack does freedom that defreeze. Beanslayer taking a lot of damage right now, but Fusion actually not an ACC, puts a sack out onto Beanslayer, is going to be able to hopefully top him back off. Jamili does get the Ironbark from Rind, and they might be able to burst them. I mean, he has no blocks. The Ironbark's done, and if they can get any CC onto Rind, but Beanslayer taking so much damage, the Saved by the Light comes out, the Bash coming out onto Beanslayer, he is going to trinket that, and he is sitting pretty right now, but he isn't able to get too much damage out, trying to throw out some clones, gets the clone out onto WizK, Rind caught into that full Hodge, and they are going offensive on Jamili right now. He's trying to get away with that blazing speed, desperately throwing out all those spell steals, throwing out some polymorphs, just doing anything to survive, but they don't have any more CC for Rind.
That's
Here comes
it!
the whip.
That's it!
30% HP, the trap coming out from Rind, trying everything he can to live, but and Rind, huge NS on a Jamili, gets him up to around 75% HP. I actually thought he was going to die there, but some way, somehow.
Yeah, WizK clutch Horrify onto Beanslayer, keeping him alive in that moment of need when he had no blocks. He still has no blocks for some time. The second round of Murder of Crows could potentially kill him here if they can get the CC. Unfortunately, I can't see if Rind has his trinket, but if he doesn't, but Beanslayer in the meantime getting pressured 50%. Devouring Plague, Ice Nova comes in, huge amount of damage onto him. Mind Flayed now even connecting, going for Cyclones defensively, lands it onto WizK. Unfortunately, it's DR'd. Saved by the Light's gonna proc. He has Avenging Wrath into the Bash. He's gonna get bopped out of that immediately, but now huge sack into the full Fear at 60% on Beanslayer into the Horrify, but no Shadow Priest stops. Not a lot of damage coming out. The Ironbark used preemptively onto Jamili here to try and keep him offensive. Rind even trinketing to keep his team offensive. They feel the kill. Devouring Plague connects onto Beanslayer. Huge stack. Trinkets and tops him. Fist of Justice though. Jamili, this is the second round of Crows with no block, and Rind unfortunately not getting CC. Denounce is coming in. Jamili positioned well in the back here. Rind even going for Cyclones now onto Beanslayer. Poly onto Gorecki. Jamili needs to stay alive here. If they can manage to live to that Cold Snap reset, that's their opportunity to survive. He's still being pressured at 50% HP, gets locked out on the polymorphs here, but with no CC onto Rind, I don't imagine he's going to have that hard of a time healing through it.
Yeah, and Rind actually just used his trinket around like 20-30 seconds ago, so Jamili not going to have that block for another 30 seconds. If they're going to make anything happen, it's going to have to be soon. But Beanslayer caught into the full Bash, the sack actually getting dispelled from huge sack onto Beanslayer. Beanslayer gets offensively cloned by Rind. The CC coming out onto huge sack now, gets put into that Frostjaw, into the silence. Are they going to have any follow-up for it? Incarnation coming out from Beanslayer, though. They're trying to turn it around onto Jamili. Jamili has his block in 6 seconds. Can he live the 6 seconds he needs? 4, 3, 2. He's going to have that block available. The Ironbark coming out from Rind. And I don't even think he's going to have to use that ice block, which is well done. I mean, they survived the incarnation. Turning around onto WizK, though, who's down to around 50% HP, but Rin's still not in any CC, desperately throwing out all those hots. The regrowth's coming out, the offensive clone by Beanslayer onto WizK right now, and WizK could be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, Rind is still comfortable on mana, though. The Bash comes out. The Cyclone gets silenced by WizK there. Good silence. Now the full trap, though, onto Rind. Fist of Justice onto WizK. Jamili getting pressured as well. Both players going pretty low here. Master Spell comes out, but he gets cloned up afterwards. Huge stack's going to come out of the Fear here. Have to pop something, maybe a sack or something to reduce the damage on the Beanslayer to keep him offensive here on Jamili, but he's going to use that Cold Snap. He has one more block. He's still getting pressured, though. 30% HP. Rind with the NS. It doesn't do a lot of healing. He's still at 60%. Clone onto WizK. They're trying to pressure Jamili. They've locked him out on almost every cast he's done. He has the blazing speed to get out of there from the pressure. He can't take it. Clone from Rind on the Beanslayer should peel him in the meantime. The Wyvern Sting's going to land, but with Beanslayer cloned up, it's not going to mean too much. They do land the half trap out, though. Jamili's still not taking too much damage, so Rind can sit through all this. The Fist of Justice is going to trigger that Ironbark immediately onto WizK to answer the Murder of Crows, as those Crows are no joking business, but they're just going to swap onto Jamili and clone WizK up at 50%. He has that block if he can get it off here. Bestial Wrath Kill Command doing quite a bit of damage to Jamili. Rind finally coming out of CC, though. Should be able to keep him top tier. Denounces 30% HP. Jamili's still feeling the heat.
Yeah, the Disarm comes out onto Beanslayer, and the Double Fear onto Fusion as well as Gorecki. They're trying to turn around onto Beanslayer. He's going to pop that wall to avoid as much damage as possible. Fusion does get DR Silencer, but Jamili's still under a lot of pressure at 50% HP. Rind not in any CC, though, and Beanslayer down to around 20%. Saved by the Light procs. Fusion does have his Trinket and Bubble available. He's just going to sit all of that, though, and he does give a huge heal onto Beanslayer. And if we look at Fusion's cooldowns, I mean, he still has a Bop, a Bubble, a Trinket available. Rind caught into that Wyvern Sting. DR Trap comes out, and they are trying to pressure Jamili as much as possible. Fusion using that wings to get as much healing out as possible on the Beanslayer, but they just aren't able to top him. They just can't top him. WizK and Jamili just causing so much pressure on him. Rind getting that offensive clone off. It's going to fade. And Huge Stack still spamming out the heals onto Beanslayer. But yeah, I mean, Fusion still has Trinket or his bubble available.
And that's key right now. He's even throwing denounces out on the Whiskey. It might be his disperse here. And S comes out to try and top him. It doesn't do too much. Dampening at 21%. Double Fear lands though. Deep Freeze on a Huge Stack. They need this poly. He gets locked out. Beanslayer into the bash. Bopped immediately by Huge Stack. Going for the Word of Glory. He's trying to fake the CS, but he gets Frost Job into a full clone. Beanslayer going for a clone here, but he gets horrified on it. Ice Nova Comet Storm comes in. He has to bubble. Is it enough? 13% survival instinct. Saved by the Light. Sack is going to come up, but is spell stealed instantly by Jamili. They're putting the pressure on to Beanslayer right now. 50% Saved by the Light is saving his behind right now, but there's a second Devouring Plague coming in. Huge Stack has managed to sustain him, but that cooldown advantage has been burned through. Jamili's going to almost have 2 blocks available now, and Beanslayer in desperation popping that Incarnation, trying to turn anything around onto Whiskey. Maybe pressure Rin's mana as well. Jamili also getting fairly low, and Rin's going to have to split his healing up and split his cooldowns. It's the Iron Bark onto Whiskey, but Beanslayer's attacking Jamili. He's going to blink away, but he catches up! He doesn't block! And down goes Jamili!
Oh my goodness, that's so unfortunate. He got crit really hard
Oh
there.
man.
I'm sure he didn't expect that damage. I've been in that situation many times, and he had both his ice blocks up there. So, I mean, they were in a pretty good spot to win, but he just got bursted down so hard.
27% dampening, so that was a fantastic game. I mean, both of these teams, oh my gosh, that was unbelievable. Let's take a quick look at that replay. As you can see, Jamili is sitting completely fine. He's at full health, man. It's actually crazy that he actually got dipped that low. He's still sitting relatively high, but the Iron Bark actually goes out onto Whizkay as Rin goes into that DR stun. Oh my gosh, he just drops so incredibly fast. I can see how that was difficult to get that block off. But we're going to go into the second map of this best of 3 series. I wonder if they're going to change their comp up at all. I'm not sure.
I think it will, if they can. I mean, who is the rogue? It's Jamili, wouldn't it be? And then Pieces?
Do they need to change their comp, though? I mean, that game wasn't... That seemed like kind of a random kill. Like,
yeah,
the game...
It wasn't.
I wouldn't base any changes on that.
Yeah, it wasn't like one of those games where it's like, I think we need to change our comp because that wasn't going well. I mean, the game was going perfectly fine for them. That just got kind of bursted down.
I still think
97k versus by...
That Rind was though. He was at like 6%.
Yeah, you're right about that. Rind was in big trouble with his mana. And I mean, I keep calling him Huge Stack, but that is Fusion. It just gets confusing.
I want to change it so I don't...
Yeah, I wish we could edit that name because I don't want to see...
if you have him on Real ID, you can change his name. If you go to AL Spec...
On Real ID.
If you go to AL Spec, and then you go into the tab, the second tab, there is a nickname option. You just drag and drop him and change his name.
Oh my god, I don't know what is... Oh, I'm not doing this. This is too hard for me.
Yeah. I already give up. He's just Huge Stack from now on, okay?
He's just Huge Stack. He had Huge Stack.
Yeah, we just want you guys to know that if we say Huge Stack, it's actually Fusion. He's supposed to have a ridiculous name, so this is what he gets.
Okay, this is what he gets. Oh my gosh, these cooldowns are not loading for me. There must have been something that happened in the recent build.
Beanslayer is the one to blame for me right now. He's the only one I don't have now. Alright, man, Beanslayer's selfie camera bringing him good luck. Getting a kill there with almost 2 blocks available to Jamili at a very high dampening, though. Rind having to make some hard decisions at the end. Iron Barking Whizkay and the Incarnation from Beanslayer capitalizing that and globaling Jamili, unfortunately, for him. But they are building up their orbs and stuff off of the pet here, and possibly maybe throwing some frostbolts here shortly. Jamili kind of not doing anything. Maybe still stunned by the kill there earlier on. Now finally casting some frostbolts to build up the icicles. And Greki's kind of donating that, but he's getting his stacks as well. Maybe they're going to end up killing the pet. I'm not sure if that'll reset his stacks or not. If they do, but Huge Stack is just healing. He even gave Sacred Shield, I think, to BSX the pet. He's finally retreating. The dinosaur immediately charging back, though. It's a little bit hilarious to watch this dinosaur just running around headbutting Jamili. He doesn't want to push in.
I wonder what they're waiting for. Like, what's the opener they want?
I think they want to go Beanslayer this game, so he does open up. Bash on the Rin, nice opener so far. But he does get horrified, out of line of sight. He could end up getting global back here. Comet Storm comes in. He's going to be able to get out in time. And now into the full bash. Devouring Plague, 40% silence on the Huge Stack. Fear connects, Deep Freeze on the Huge Stack. He freedoms it to try and get out of it in time. Explosive Trap to disorient Whizkay and Jamili here. And Beanslayer with the over jump into Rin's base right now. And Rin actually got chunked on 25% of his mana just in the initial exchange, though. And it was huge last game. Amplified Magic magic comes out from Jamili with the Iron Bark, but they're just going to swap over to Whiskey, and every time that Iron Bark comes out, they just swap off of it, which is going to tap Rin's mana even harder. So really well played from the jungle cleave, but there's the Horrify, possibly a bash or a stun out of that as well.
Yeah, and Beanslayer in quite a bit of trouble right now. He still hasn't popped that Incarnation. He does get cloned at around 30% HP. Gets switched over to Fusion by Rind. Beautiful clones coming out of Rind. The Silence comes out onto Fusion. He pops that Aura Mastery and pops that Wings, but at the same time, Goreki getting CC'd a lot. So this Godcom doing an excellent job counter-pressuring. But Beanslayer popping that Incarnation. They are on Jamili right now. But he does have every hot in the game. Rin just desperately trying to overheal him, keeping him topped off. Beanslayer having to play defensive now. The Bop comes out on the bash from Beanslayer, but he is disarmed. Huge stack. Oh man, he still has those wings up, so he's going to be able to get those heals off. But that's the second wall from Beanslayer. But WizK taking a lot of damage, down around 40% HP. Rin able to get those hots up on him. The Fear, Double Fear comes out onto Beanslayer and Goreki. Huge stack caught through that full.
Oh, no block!
Billy almost dies without blocking again, but he does get it off. Not going to make the same mistake twice. And Beanslayer is still in a lot of trouble. I mean, he's just hiding behind the pillar right now, throwing out those healing touches. He knows his Paladin isn't going to get to play the game, but he's finally out of CC. And right as I say that, he gets put into another clone. Goreki forcing that deterrence. This Godcom just has so much CC.
Yeah, and Beanslayer gets silence on that clone, getting Mind Flayed with full dots. Whiskey has to have full orbs at this point. Beanslayer popping the Tiger's Fury, trying to get some damage out onto Jamili. Lands the bash onto Rin. They really need the trap out of that. Beanslayer with the pre-Nature's Vigil here and the Sacrifice as well. Fist onto Whiskey. Jamili getting chunked here at 30%. Denounce is coming in. Fusion wants this win. He wants to take Jamili out here in the first round. 60% HP. Rin pops the Nature's Vigil as well. Bashes Beanslayer up. Unfortunately overlapped with the Horrify, so he's going to come out of that and be actually just fine, and that's not what you want to see. Beanslayer going for the Shadow Meld re-stealth pounce onto Jamili, forcing his blink. It's going to connect immediately, forces the Iron Bark out of Rind, and Rind has managed to heal more efficiently, sustain his mana. He isn't chunked as much as he was in the beginning. Beanslayer running for a clone onto Rind right now. He's just going to get it right in the face of everyone. A Froster coming out into huge stack. He gets locked on the poly though, and he's getting chunked. Murder of Crows just taking him out. 30% HP. Fist onto Rind. Whiskey rooted up, going for the MD. Gets cloned on it. Into the second block he goes, and that's going to be all of the ice blocks for Jamili for at least 2 minutes. And Rind now into the Wyvern Sting, still unable to top him or even hot him at this point. Into the half clone now. Huge stack with the Avenging Wrath preemptively to keep his team offensive here. They feel the win. 30% HP. Rind and Nesses, it doesn't do too much, but the CC coming out onto Beanslayer now.
And Beanslayer caught into that full bash, but Fusion not in any CC at all. He has those Avenging Wrath wings up right now. The Hodge comes out onto Rind. Beanslayer going to get topped off by Fusion, and I don't think they're going to have any follow-up CC. I think WizK gripped him out of the trap. So that was well done by WizK stopping that CC onto Rind, but Beanslayer still in a lot of trouble. Save by the Light comes out. Rind cloning that Save by the Light. They're going to try to get any CC they can onto Fusion. Jamili has that Icy Veins up right now, trying to get out as much pressure as possible. Sheep goes out onto Goreki. Silence onto Huge Stack. And he does pop that Survival Instincts, but one key thing to note is that I think Beanslayer's Incarnation is desynced with Jamili's Ice Block, so he's going to have a moment in time where Jamili doesn't have Ice Block, and they might be able to kill him. But at the same time, Beanslayer's still in a lot of trouble. The Sheeps come out onto Fusion. He is going to have to bubble that to keep Beanslayer topped up. They're going to try to turn it around onto WizK, who's down around 30% HP. He does have Disperse. He's forced into that Disperse. Beanslayer does have that Incarnation up right now, and this is what I'm talking about. This is the moment they have to pressure. I mean, Rin caught into that clone. He's going to trigger that immediately. NS WizK, but WizK's still not out of the woods yet.
Yeah, Rin answering the Incarnation well, though. Beanslayer getting locked out on the clone, trying to pressure WizK, and that Incarn's going to fade. Cold Snap's going to come up, so unless they get the kill here in 10 seconds, Jamili should be fine. WizK is the one that's vulnerable, though, and Beanslayer's trying to get a restart, especially the Water Elemental. The Dot's not going to let him do that. Deep Freeze on a Huge Sack. No Polymorph just yet. The Blazing Speed comes out, but he can pre-sack this if he can get it. He does pre-sack, but the Poly got locked out as well, and Beanslayer's getting pressured in the Silence. He Shadow Meld re-stealths desperately to try and avoid some damage, going for a Cyclone now. Going to land onto WizK. No Trinket, so he's going to be stuck in that. They're pressuring Jamili to try and force that block that is available now. Full Poly on a Huge Sack. Unfortunately, they cloned Beanslayer in the moment of time when they have CC. WizK's going to land the full Fear on him out of that, but they have to do a lot of damage in 4 seconds. He's actually just going to Trinket. He was worried about the damage and Maim onto WizK, though, going to prevent the Mass Dispel on the trap. Clone onto Jamili. Fist out of that. WizK getting pressure, trying to go for the MD, trying to fake the interrupts to get it, but he's not able to. He's getting chunked. 40% going for an MD on nothing at this point. 30% gets the Iron Bark, getting pressured so hard. Now trying to turn it around with the Horrify onto Beanslayer. Ice Nova comes in. Deep Freeze on a Huge Stack. Beanslayer getting pressured at 60% HP, trying to push in here. Does manage to lock out the Cyclone, go for a Cyclone of his own onto Rin. Jamili with 1 block available at 50%. Should be okay so long as he presses it.
Yeah, he's down 20% HP, and he's probably going to be forced into that ice block. The main comes out. Rind on an ACC, though, desperately getting those heals out. Beanslayer now in a lot of trouble, though. He does pop that survival instincts. The full trap comes out onto Rind. Bash onto WizK. Jamili is in a 1v3 situation, having to use that ice block. And, I mean, although Fusion doesn't have a lot of cooldowns, this jungle is causing so much pressure onto this God comp. I mean, Jamili's now out of the ice block, but they're turning it on to WizK. The Hodge comes out from Fusion onto Rind, and they're going to be back on Jamili. He's not going to have a block available for another 2 minutes, so he could be in a lot of trouble here. I mean, he's down to around 30% HP. Rind out of he's just desperately getting those heals, and he just dies. I mean, Rind wasn't even in CC there, was he?
I don't think so.
That was just damage. That was
jungle damage, man.
Unbelievable.
That was El Damage, dude.
I didn't think he was gonna die there. I really didn't.
Every time that he was safe earlier, it was because WizK was peeling Beanslayer, and at that moment in time, Beanslayer wasn't getting peeled. I don't believe. If we have the replay to watch it, so he just kind of ran out of stuff. Dampening was reasonably high, and he couldn't heal through. Something to note is that he was going for NS Healing Touch, which makes me wonder what he was playing talent-wise, because I didn't see any Trents. I didn't see any trees. He wasn't playing tree.
I didn't even know you use NS Healing Touch. Is that like something
I don't think you should. It should always be regrowth the Soul of the Force. His NSs were always really low. I mean, a couple of them he had to NS just because he didn't have time to get Soul of the Forest. But there was almost every single NS is Healing Touch. And I didn't see Force of Nature. Maybe I'm blind. I could just easily be blind.
They didn't have no Trents.
So he wasn't really using Soul of the Forest really effectively, I don't think. So that's why I wasn't able to just top Jamili. With like that lay on hands effect. So
I'm not exactly sure, but I mean that team was one of the favorites to like do really well in the tournament, and I mean the first round they're knocked down into the losers bracket, but luckily for them there is a losers bracket, and I could easily see them climbing up through it and still having a very good shot at winning this tournament.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So the next matchup, guys, because we have good games all day long. Up next, we have Double Bubble, Dota, Elite, and Yasky, and potentially even Mystic versus Boo Brothers Go to Alaska, Dillypoo, Peekaboo, Cubsy, and potentially Shwazy. So that's coming up next in just a hot minute here, guys. Any predictions between these two teams? So essentially we have, what is it, a Thug versus a... Whoa.
Oh, whoa.
Hunter, Locke, Paladin? Hello?
I've seen a little bit of it, and I think Dota actually plays Demo for it. Unlike last expansion where it was Affliction almost every single time for Hunter Locke. And Demo's actually really scary, but if there was a rogue in the game that will never let a Demon Bolt go off, it would probably be Peekaboo. So,
so is it gonna...
won't be playing that.
Wait. Dota, Elite, and Mystic. So is this going to be...
Wait, what?
Hello? Mystic
I thought you said Yas. Didn't you say Yas?
Yeah, Mystic and Yask are both on their team. And Hannah and Hannah just changed it. So she knows something that I don't know. And I feel as if what she knows is they're going to be playing Warlock, Warrior, Paladin?
That's not bad.
No. That's not bad. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Paladin offers a lot of the offensive buffs that Shaman do. And I mean, a comp like WLS does so much damage, it's unbelievable. And I've talked to Sidu about this, and he says in a lot of situations he'd just rather be a Paladin than a Shaman, and this might be one of them. So
yeah, the vulnerabilities that Paladins had against Hunters before Trank Shot is gone now. So it's like in almost any situation, if you have a Shaman healer going against a Hunter, you should probably just get a Paladin instead.
Yeah, well, you're just able to freedom traps. They're just like you can just double freedom the initial trap. Yeah, double freedom the initial trap, and it lasts 4 seconds. You know, I don't know. Paladins are really strong. That's why we're seeing so many Paladins in this tournament, and we've seen them in the last couple tournaments. It's just the balance of power has shifted, and they're just such a strong class now.
It's so weird to figure out why, because I think Word of Glory got changed to be more damage reduction, so that was a buff. Obviously, the Trank Shot nerf on Hunters is the biggest buff for Paladins. And then, for some reason, Execution Sentence now is just new. Because every Paladin plays
is like, it's like this thing that just tops. It's like they finally have like a topping heal, you know? Which is a big deal.
Wait, what? Okay, so maybe they're not playing... They're actually telling me that they're playing Holy Paladin, Retribution Paladin, Hunter versus Sub BM Restoration Druid. That actually sounds wicked good.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I think Ret Hunter is just the gods of Hunter Cleaves. Like, and then if you
so?
stack a Holy Paladin on top of that, you're just like, I don't know, you're rubbing
Yeah,
the
before,
wound. At that
I mean, in the past, it was absurd to stack paladins. Like a Ret Paladin and a Holy Paladin just didn't work. But now, because of 30-second forbearance, which is really, really strong. I mean, having 4 bops and like having 4 stacks is like they're all useful. Like there's gonna be a situation in the game unless the game gets ended really, really quick that they can actually get all of those bops and put good use of them.
And they have double dispel for Wyvern, so you can't even Wyvern Sting and Trap because the Ret Paladin will just dispel it. So I don't know though. Peekaboo and is it Jelly Beans?
No, it's
Dillypoo. Okay, they've been playing a lot though, I think.
No, they've been
beating a lot of really good teams. And so, I mean, if there was a Thug Cleave in the world that could beat maybe this counter-com matchup, it would probably be them. So.
Yeah. And sometimes what sounds like a counter on paper actually isn't. But I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
We shall. So one team is not currently ready. They're going to use some of their 10-minute delay time to warm up real quick, which I dig. I think one of them just got out of work. So they want to do like a quick warm-up game. They'll leave in time, though, is what they told me. So I guess I'll take this quick little delay time to read some donations and stuff. So we had some new subscribers. We are currently 11 out of 50 subs, guys. Thank you so much for the support. All the support that you guys give us goes right back to the production value and things like increasing prize pools and stuff like that. All donations that we receive go directly to incoming or future tournament prize pools, directly to those things. So thank you guys so much. I just want to shout out some new subs. We got the one and only Albereth, Prowla, Stealthy Vadger, Devolore, Nesper, Vamptastic, and Codex. Thank you so much, guys. And we did also get some donations. $5 from Sniffing Pickles. I'll donate $100 if we can have GCD karaoke. Oh no, we can have GCD karaoke with the commentators.
Didn't we already kind of do that?
We did that on my own
time.
on Hannah's stream. Yeah. Yeah, we did do that. We did. You guys did sing the entire commentary of or like I'd say like half the commentary of a game. We also got $5 from Nixta. He said, "Great job with the journeys. Keep it up." Thank you, Nixta. And Killer Fred 3000 has donated $20, and he says, "Love you guys. Here's some support for the future. Keep it up and cheers." Thank you so much, everybody, for all the support, and we will continue doing what we do best, and that's putting the games on.
The games.
The games. So we do have a couple people asking about class stacking and things like that, and something that I just want to reiterate is that this is a tournament scenario, and we want to encourage using multiple compositions as much as we possibly can. And as you can imagine, class stacking isn't necessarily universally viable, but if they have the ability to use 2 classes to get an advantage in a tournament scenario, I absolutely want to give that to them because we want to encourage multiple classes on teams. So
there are lots of times class stacking backfires though. I remember back in Canada, people ran like Enhanced Resto Shaman Warlock or something, and then stacked Shamans because Shaman and Winter was so good.
That's kind of what I was saying, is sometimes something seems like it's really good on paper, but it ends up just not working out like you'd imagine.
So,
like the Double Shaman is a perfect example of that. You're like, wow, we'll just be immune to fear, and it'll be great.
Beast Cleave with the Resto Shaman, I remember that last expansion. You fought it, I think. It was you versus Vanguards, and then you switched from Mage to Monk, and then never lost after that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you were playing MLS. What tournament was that?
I forget.
Vanguards just played Beast Cleave.
Yeah, I think we actually ended up losing both games. I remember the tournament you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
class stacking can work, but
yeah, it can work. It definitely can work. But sometimes, like, if you're not like the Double Shaman, like I said, is a perfect example because a lot of the time you'll be like you won't be practiced at it. So like if a Warlock fears, both Shamans will instinctively press Tremor, and it ends up just wasting both, you know. And then like one of your only advantages you have, you waste. So I mean, it can work if you're coordinated with it, but any problems too.
Any news on the team warming up front?
Both teams have to take some of their delay time. Dillypoo's team has until 10:37. We're at 10:29 right now, and Dota's team has until 10:34, and we are at 10:29 right now. So both teams still have a few minutes left.
I was really hoping they were going to actually play Hunter Lock. I wanted to see it a little bit more with Demo. Demo's always hilarious for me right now to watch. Like any Demo Lock player, like you go to their stream and they get so excited when they get casting Demon Bolt. They just start
That's how it should
freaking
be.
out.
I miss that.
That is how it should be, right?
I love the game when like you cast and it's scary. You know, you have a nuke and that's like big scary time.
I also want to take just a quick second of my time real fast to thank Chance Morris for hosting us. Thank you, man. Really do appreciate that, buddy. And I hope to see you competing in the future, man. As I know that you've been playing the World of Warcrafts again.
The World of Warcraft. It's the World of Warcraft.
It's the Warcrafts of the world.
It's World of WoW.
The World of WoW.
World of Warcraft.
Does anyone else really want a Warcraft 4?
Like
I do.
right
Are you
now.
kidding me?
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my goodness gracious! I want to Warcraft 4 so
I
bad.
think honestly the biggest reason why I play StarCraft is because of it gives me a little bit of the feeling of playing Warcraft again.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think the Warcraft 3 was so much better. Like the smaller armies, everything about it,
so
heroes and
good.
smaller armies, and oh,
You had
I love
like
that
Three's
game.
Arena with an army. You had like your 3 heroes and then everything else behind it. Like
great.
micro
Everything
everything.
was
is
so fun, and
Yeah.
oh, I really want Warcraft 4 so bad.
They could put
I
a
didn't
new
even think
race
about
in.
that. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
I know.
I really
I'm
haven't.
throwing it out.
I love that game.
This would be so good. I think they're putting in like a skin or something in StarCraft 2.
That is a cop out. Just make it.
I know.
Oh
it's
no,
not
no,
the
that's
same,
not.
right?
That's not what they're doing. They're actually taking, dude. StarCraft 2 has an amazing mini-game engine that they have, and they just let people go to town with it, and they put it in the arcade, and they're like, the people who recreated it's kind of like a Warcraft 3.2, but they're recreating everything. It looks really good, man.
Yeah, I
you'd be
saw
really
the
surprised.
trailer for it.
It looks really good, and the people who did it have been like making these arcade games for like 10 years. They're intense. So.
Yeah, I believe it could be good, but I still want Warcraft 4.
Oh yeah, no.
I still want Warcraft 4 in a box. I would go out and buy the box and put
I
it
would
next to
play
my
it.
Warcraft 3 box.
I would play it so much and be so bad at it, but I wouldn't care.
Yeah, right? Dude, I didn't even care if I was bad. I'd just be playing and be like, oh, I just lost. I suck. I wouldn't care. I'd play again.
Yeah.
I don't know. The custom games, too, in that were so good. I mean, that's where Dota came from, I'm pretty sure, right? That's like the original
Yeah.
parts. So, I don't know. That game breeded so many things that people kind of forget about, I think.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that the Warcraft 3 Dota copied the League of Legends like technical
Yeah.
alpha. So
It
Wait,
could
what?
have.
League of
There's
Legends.
a
League of
huge
Legends.
debate between what came first, right?
League of Legends definitely came first before Warcraft 3
Yeah.
Dota.
Wait, what? League of Legends did?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that. Really?
Man's making it up. We're all getting trolled right now. Someone in chat's gonna just blow up.
Oh my god. Alright, so these teams have 5 more minutes. Barely, almost 4 minutes before... Oh, looks like both teams are ready. And the very first map of this best of 3 series is going to be on... Oh, man. Alright, one team needs 1 more minute.
Maybe we can relog. I don't know if that would fix our cooldown problem.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
man. I think
I
it's
don't
an
know.
add-on issue.
It's kinda-
I mean, I'll relog. Let's try it. Why not? We have a
Let's
couple
just
minutes.
relog. Yeah, we have the technology. We can do it. Might as well
I
try.
can press escape and click log out.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna log all the way back out and type it all back in. So, what are your guys' predictions on these two teams? So, I feel like the double paladin has the advantage over this thug cleave. Is thug cleave still the same way, where if you don't get a lot of defensive cooldowns in the opener, you're behind, or is it different now?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I haven't really seen a lot of thug cleaves, and I mean, I think that's kind of the way subtlety is if you don't make something happen with your dance, your pressure is very lackluster. But I would never in a million years count Peekaboo, Cubsy, and Dillypoo out because they're really amazing and they play this comp really well. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean,
know-
like you said, on paper, the Ret team seems like it has an advantage, but I don't know if that'll actually be the case. But
And Peekaboo is really good with setting up like Cubsy to get clones. Like he'll always, whenever he can, cheap shot a DPS so he can clone it, or cheap shot something else so he can clone it. It kind of makes it easier for him to deal with it. And if they have the clone to cross CC both the paladins, or you can stun the red paladin and clone the holy paladin, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. So we really have to wait and see what target they go for. But if Cubsy can get clones, they could get through the holy paladin gimmick here and maybe not even see a buff if they do it right. So it's potential.
All right, just communicating with these teams as the time has run out.
This is one of those games that's just gonna be hell for Peekaboo, because he's gonna have to work through, just Mystic. I don't know who they're gonna attack. I don't know who their target of choice is gonna be, but they're gonna have to work through like 4 bops and a trinket. So minimum. If the
you fight Ret Hunter and you're already going through the list, you're like, okay, got Hunter stack. Okay, got 1 bop. Okay, got 1 stack. All right, next time. Oh, we got the second one. We got the second one. Okay, now we win.
Oh nope, third, fourth, and then the rep values start coming back.
Like this grocery list of we got that, we got that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Hunter sack, Paladin sack, 4 bops. I don't know.
All right, let's jump right into it. The very first map of this best of 3 series, of course, the Grand Arena.
Yosk always names his hunters really funny names. He's a lollipop man on one.
Oh yeah, he was the lollipop man. I feel like double paladin is gonna counter this this thug, but this is no ordinary thug, man. This is Peekaboo. This is Dillypoo and Cubsy. This is like the thug of the ladder.
But at the same time, the people they're fighting are really good. Elite is the highest rated holy paladin. Holy paladins are good, but Elite was making holy paladins work before they were considered even remotely good. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of Mystic lately. I fought him the other day, but I haven't seen a lot of him, so hopefully he's still on top of his game as well. Peekaboo right up in front here, cheap shots early on, trying to connect onto Mustache Man, it would appear, which is Yosk. He was in the cheap shot. Murder of Crows, he's going to get globaled here. Rupture comes up, Mark for death. Double a fist into the DR, cheap shot. Elite with the clutch execution sense, though. Double fist of justice. What can you do with 2 fists? Quite a lot. Crows onto Dillypoo now. Ironbark answers that immediately out from Cubsy. The Avenging Wrath still up from Mystic, though, pressuring Cubsy now very hard. He's going to displace the beast back behind the pillar, pops the Heart of the Wild to keep himself completely safe through the opening pressure. Kidney onto Elite. He's going to freedom to reduce the CC on that, and Dillypoo is getting pressured hard.
Yeah, Elite actually getting blinded there by Peekaboo. He's going to immediately bop that. So even though he's used that bop offensively, Mystic still has a bop, and Elite still has 2 bops available, and Elite still has this trinket as well. Looks like they are going to open up onto Mustache Man here. The double CC coming out, though. Cubsy cloning Mystic, the trap coming out onto Elite, and that's the cross CC they need against this Holy Pally team. If they can cross CC both Paladins, they're not going to be able to help Yoski at all. The full Hodge trap comes out onto Cubsy, but they're not able to really pressure anyone. The Hodge coming out onto Dillypoo is going to trinket that immediately, and they're going to keep the pressure rolling onto Yosk. Warmaster coming out from Elite. He's going to desperately spam all those heals. Peekaboo throwing down that smoke bomb to try to deny some of that Elite heals, as well as the kidney shot coming out to him. Yosk caught into another stun. The full trap coming out onto Elite. He's going to have to bubble that, and this thug cleave just causing so much pressure onto this double bubble team.
Yeah, and Peekaboo cheap shots Mystic to stop the sack, and Cubsy just clones out of it. So Peekaboo sets up Cubsy constantly over and over, and he actually eats the trap here. But they're swapping to Cubsy with the fist. He did manage to pre-bear form it. It might be the reason why he can save his Barkskin here, Elite into the kidney shot. They need to land a little bit more CC out of that, though. They're not getting it just yet. The fist now DR'd onto Cubsy. 2 fists, too little time, but he's doing fine, living through it, and bashes Mystic right now. Yoss taking a bit of damage at 50%, 40%. If Elite gets kicked here on any of these heals, it might be the end. He goes for the Wyvern onto Dillypoo. Cubsy's going to dispel that immediately and go for a clone here back on Mystic. He's going to land it. Unfortunately, Rebuke not available, so he's going to land the full clone onto Mystic, possibly another clone out as well. And there's the cross CC. He's not able to dispel the Wyvern Sting. He trinkets to try and dispel it. He's way out of range. Kidney Murder of Crows. Procs to stay by the light. They don't care. Bop is going to get that Murder of Crows off in the nick of time, and now they're pressuring Cubsy hard. Forced into the Barkskin with the Fist of Justice. He did not pre-bear form it, so he's going to take an incredible amount of damage. Displacer Beast away here behind the pillar. Peekaboo getting trapped up, but dispelled immediately by Cubsy.
Yeah, and Elite still has, I mean, despite the CC that's come out onto them, I mean, Dillypoo forced into that deterrence, gonna get out of it right away. Ironbark comes out from Cubsy onto Dillypoo, but like I was saying, Elite and Mystic, they still have so many cooldowns left. Elite still has a Trinket, still have 2 bops available to get out of CC, and Cubsy being pressured a lot here by Yosk and Mystic. Hodge comes out, he is gonna have to immediately Trinket that. He didn't have Barskin or Ironbark available, so the next swap on him could be a lot of trouble. Elite deciding to bop. I'm not sure what he bopped, but I think he might have bopped a kidney on himself, or a blind. Yeah, bops the blind. The wings come out, keeping his team very, very offensive right now, and it looks like they're just going to try to ride down Cubsy the best they can.
Yeah, but there's the cross CC kidney onto Elite. Mystic spamming at some flash heals to try and keep Yosk popped. Dillypoo not popping the Murder of Crows just yet, and that's the burst cooldown you're looking for. And Yosk actually going for the barrage on a Dillypoo at 50%, full fist onto Cubsy. I don't imagine they're going to swap. Dillypoo actually taking so much damage at 30%. A fist now onto Peekaboo, unfortunately. He's going to get rooted up on the Dispel as well. He has to cloak out of it. Full trap lands. No Trinket. Dillypoo completely alone. No deterrence is 30%. He pops the Bestial Wrath, though, and the Crows trying to turn it around in desperation. In the face of death, he says, I do not care, trying to punish punish Yosk there, and Cubsy now getting swapped to the Murder of Crows is up onto him. He's going to displace their beast away. He's trying to save the Barkskin. He's going to pre-Ironbark here before he gets Fist of Justice, trying to go for a Cyclone. Wyvern on a Mystic, gets dispelled by Elite instantly. Dillypoo has survived some way. Cubsy unfortunately had to use that Ironbark, so it's not going to be available for Dillypoo, who is out of deterrences, and at this point this Ret Hunter can just pick their target and go. The Shadow Dance coming out though, maybe a global here, 50% HP. Mystic with the clutch heals to keep him alive long enough for Elite to come out and top him off. Cubsy have 50% mana in the backline, going for a clone, gonna land on a Mystic, and for the time being has sustained himself.
Yeah, Peekaboo on still relentlessly on Yasuo, trying to get out as much pressure as possible, spamming that Phantom Knives for combo point generation. Kidney Shot comes out onto Elite. Or onto Mystic. Elite caught into that full trap. Mystic, though, here comes the wings from him. Cubsy now caught into the full trap. Dillypoo could be in a lot of trouble here. He does have 1 deterrence available. He's going to have to pop that, but he's still taking so much damage. Cubsy into the double fists. The smoke bomb comes out from Peekaboo, a little bit defensive there, and Dillypoo could still be in a lot of trouble. This is a lot of damage coming out from Yosk and Elite. The Ironbark comes out. Cubsy trying everything he can, desperately trying to keep Dillypoo alive, but they're switching it over onto Yosk. Elite, not in any CC though, going to be able to top him. It has those wings up. He's caught into that full blind. He's going to bop it immediately. No blinds have stuck this match. There's always have a bop ready to go. And I mean, Dillypoo doesn't really have anything left except Trinket, and Cubsy has his Trinket as well, so I think they're going to be okay for the next little bit.
Oh! And Yosk had to trigger the Cheap Shot, still getting pressured really hard. DR Cheap Shot onto Elite at 50% into the Garrote. Has to Aura Mastery out, throws out a Fist of Justice. The Wyvern's going to land on the Cubsy. He's going to come out of it into a half trap, though. Dillypoo still being pressured, no deterrences. Has his Trinket, though, into the DR Fist of Justice. Dillypoo at 50%, trying to do his best to kite Mystic, but he's right on his tail with the Law of Justice right now. But the full kidney onto Yosk. No Trinket. Elite doing a good job to keep him up. He got locked out now into the Cheap Shot. They're going to cover that with a clone onto Mystic. He's not going to be able to sack out of it at 40% on Yosk. Evasion comes out from Peekaboo offensively here. He wants to push it and end it. Full clone onto Elite. He does Trinket it into another clone. Cubsy getting all these clones out in the face. Murder of Crows comes up. Elite has a lot of work ahead of him. Deterrence comes out from Yosk, and this Thug Cleave somehow, some way, getting the pressure out when they need to. Bash on the Mystic. Maybe some CC out of that. Not going to be able to. The Gouge comes out to follow it up, and Yosk at 20% HP. Elite just unable to heal him at this point at 40%. The Holy Lights connect 60%. Going for the Word of Glory. No interrupts available to stop the heals coming out from him. The Cheap Shot, though, full. Kidney onto Elite. Mystic desperation mode, spamming the Flash of Lights. Execution Sentence defensively to heal Yosk so Elite can sit the CC. Pops the unused Trinket to try and top him off, throwing out the Denounces to reduce Peekaboo's damage. And Cubsy's getting pressured so hard in the back of this.
Yeah, the Ironbark comes out on the Cubsy, and if we look at mana, I mean, this could come down to a mana game. Dampening comes in, and it's at 11% right now. Cubsy down to around 20% mana, but at the same time, Mustache Man caught into that full kidney. He's going to get bopped. Elite's going to pop those wings and try to desperately top him off. Mystic also used the bubble there, but they're trying to turn it around on a Dillypoo. Cubsy caught into that trap, into Yeah, he did trinket the trap into a Hodge, and they're switching over to Cubsy now. He does have that Heart of the Wild up, so his Hots are going to be extra powerful. But this team is under so much pressure. Cubsy has nothing left if they swap to him again, except Barcian. But Dillypoo taking the damage down to around 40% HP. Elite popping that bubble, trying to keep his team offensive. And Dillypoo down to around 15% HP. He could just die here. Hovering around 10% HP if the kill shot comes in. Cubsy managed to pick him up, though. Meanwhile, Yosk...
That sap!
The sap onto Elite. Clone on the team is CC'd. Yosk could be in a lot of trouble here. The Saved by the Light comes out from Elite onto Yoski, but Peekaboo putting Elite into that kidney shot. Cubsy caught into the Hodge, and another bop is going to come out onto Yosk.
Yeah, both Paladins did their double bubble, though, earlier, and the Thug Cleave has somehow sustained their HP, so if they can get the CC out onto Elite and cross-CC Mystic to prevent the sacks, there's the Bash, possibly trying to go for any CC at this point. Yas getting pressured full clone onto Mystic, but Elite's positioned so far out of the way, it's really hard to CC him. Vanish comes out from Peekaboo, though. The full kidney is going to land. Cheap shot onto Mustache Man, who is Yas. He's getting globaled right now, 40% in the smoke bomb. No deterrence, his desperation camo! He's going to go down to the Murder of Crows, 15%! Elite gets locked out, and this Thug Cleave is going to take out this counter comp convincingly.
What the heck? Just like you said, man, counter comps can go either way. That was freaking incredible. I can't believe it. Whoo! Wow. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I don't even. Do I even have a replay? I think I forgot to press the replay button to record. I did. I forgot to press the replay button because I was so into that game, man. Holy crap. Yeah. So let's jump right into the next game.
That was crazy.
Wow.
But yeah. So
what did he sap him out of there?
I think it was a kick lockout.
He kicked him and sapped him.
That's what I was saying, because he wasn't CC'd, and I saw a sap, and I was like, how did Elite just fall out of combat? And I was like, it had to be a kick or something. It had to be something.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because he wasn't DR'd to trap, it was a full trap or full sap, so it wasn't a Wyvern Stinger or a trap. So I'm pretty sure it was an interrupt. That or he AFK'd and just fell out of combat.
I don't know. I kind of doubt it was that.
It could have been a blind too, but I don't know. He was able to get it even while Dillypoo's at like 20%, which is why I was yelling about it.
I can't believe it, man. Alright, so the next map of this best of 3, guys, is going to be played on Ruins of Lordaeron. I'll see you guys in there in just a minute.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Did someone leave?
No.
Oh, cool. Alright, boys, welcome back to Ruins of Lordaeron. This is the Boo Brothers Go to Alaska, Peekaboo, Dillypoo, and Cubsy up against Double Bubble, Mystic, Yoski, and Elite. So it is Ruins of Lordaeron, but I mean, I feel like it could be given, this map could give an advantage to either team. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
So I guess we missed it, but it was a blind sap. We've been corrected, so sorry we missed that, guys. Jeez Louise.
It's so bad, dude.
Yeah.
We should let Twitch chat commentate. And they are just going to camp the room and wait for all the stealths to come out, but Dillypoo can just camp the camo. This Thug Cleave doesn't even need to come out of stealth. Peekaboo is just building up the slice and dice combos. They're just going to camp that room. They don't want to leave it. Obviously, they have a lot of utility with double bop, double bubble, double hodge, and they can kind of lure them in, but how do they answer this? I think this happened at regionals in EU as well, when one team just camped the room, and in RMD, I think it was, just wasn't able to push in. They literally just sat out here for 2 minutes and didn't know what to do. So what do you do, Ben? Do you just go for it?
I don't know. I mean, it's a tournament situation. They only need one game to win. I mean, they could just play it patient if they wanted. I mean, I would play it safe too if I was Double Bubble trying to deny Peekaboo's opener. I mean, if they lose this game, they're knocked into the lower bracket. But I guess it's just going to be a battle of patience.
His little 19 twink transmog just giving a dance, waiting for them to come out of the room and beat men. Fight outside of the room. He doesn't want to walk into their dungeon. I think his dungeon is much more scary than Sea-Doo's dungeon, I think, for this team.
Yeah.
We're going to sit here for a while, and
yeah, you'd have to think, I mean, if they're just going to wait this out, they have to think about it, because the longer this game goes, it's going to go into dampening, and I feel like in dampening, this Rep Pally, Holy Pally Hunter team is going to have a huge advantage just because of the amount of cooldowns they have. But I guess, yeah, Yoss getting a little impatient and pushing out. Yeah.
He infiltrated the dungeon. Got the sap onto Elite, Wyvern Sting onto Mystic, denying the dispels from both of them. Murder of Crows comes up, DR Cheap Shot, Mystic trying to answer it with his aggression on a Cubs. He forces the Barskin immediately. Murder of Crows. He could end up getting globaled here if he doesn't react properly. 30% Trinket Displacer at the last second. There's the Iron Bar coming up as well. He understands how desperate it can be against Ret Hunter on a Resto Druid, but now they just swap over to Dillypoo at 50%. Might force an early oh my god, deterrence as well. And this is not the opener they wanted, even though Peekaboo managed to infiltrate that. And so many cooldowns were used there by Cubsy and Dillypoo, so it's not looking good.
Yeah, Cubsy's in a lot of trouble. I mean, the next Hodge on him could be a lot of trouble. He is caught into that Fist of Justice, and they are going to swap over to him. Mystic desperately getting out as much damage as possible onto Cubsy. The second Hodge coming out onto him. He does have that Heart of the Wild up, so he is going to be able to just displace away, get up some very powerful hots on himself, and he should be able to top himself off. Meanwhile, Yoski taking a little bit of damage. Peekaboo on the back of him runs over, and I think he actually kicked Elite's heel. So well done by him. The kidney shot comes out onto Elite for CC. They're turning around onto Yoss, doing as much damage as possible onto him. The DR cheap shot comes out onto Elite. Save by the light procs. Elite does get put into that the trap out of that. I think he trinketed that. The Ore Mastery comes out from Elite. He's going to be able to top off Yoss, but Cubsy under a lot of pressure right now. Rapid fire coming out from Yoss onto him. But yeah, I think Yoss will be okay for now.
Yeah, and the pre-evasion, but he gets hodged on it. They're pressuring Dillypoo, and Cubsy used that Iron Bark, so he's not going to have it for Dillypoo. He wanted to save the Bark Skin for a hodge down the road. He probably expects to get trained, but now he's into the Wyvern Sting, possibly the half trap out. The half trap's going to land. Dillypoo with the denounces on him. The Red Hunter, Holy Paladin pressuring him. Now the Fist of Justice swap, though, and he saved that Bark Skin earlier. He's going to have it. Is it enough, though? 40% HP. The CC on the Mystic and Elite, though, is buying Cubsy the time to get out of that stun. He needs to start kiting, though. He's just caught in the center of the map with Yoss going ham. Finally, Displacer Beast, and that's going to top himself back off at the tomb here, quacking the dinosaur here, eating Cubsy alive right now. In the meantime, though, Yoss gets forced into the Trinket Deterrence at 30% HP, and he still has one more Deterrence available, but that's not the situation you want to get put into.
Coming out from Mystic. Peekaboo trying desperately to peel off Mystic. Cubsy didn't have Barskin available for that. He is going to trinket the DR Hodge, try to hot himself up, keep himself pre-hotted, but Dillypoo getting swapped over to. He is forced into that deterrence. He only has one deterrence left. It just came up. Mystic causing a huge amount of pressure here with his wings. Does bop Elite out of that blind as well. But Yoss taking a lot of damage from Peekaboo and Dillypoo, but Dillypoo still hovering around 20% HP. Wyvern stinging Mystic defensively. They're just trying to stop as much damage as possible on him so Cubsy can top him off. But the Hodge comes out onto Cubsy, and Dillypoo forced into that second deterrence. He has no deterrences left. Cubsy has no trinket. The DR trap coming out onto Cubsy. Dillypoo's still in a lot of trouble here, and they're trying to turn it around onto Yosk. But another fist comes out onto Cubsy. Dillypoo does have those hots, though. Big NS comes out from Cubsy, and he is going to be able to top Dillypoo there. And Yosk taking the brunt end of the damage now. But no CC out onto Elite. He does get interrupted there by Dillypoo. They are switching it over onto Cubsy. He is going to displace away. But he does have Barskin available. I think he's going to be okay. They're just trying to, I guess, keep Cubsy on his toes. No one's really safe against this team right now.
Yeah, Dillypoo with no deterrences is playing really aggressive up here on the tomb, trying to get the CC that he needs. The Wyvern Sting trying to come up, but Cubsy does Shadow Meld the Wyvern Sting. That's the triple cheap shot stun combo that they need to finish off Yosk. Elite Trinkets immediately realizing how dire the situation is, trying to hold on to that deterrence, but a full trap is landed. Yosk might have to deterrence, though. He wanted to go aggressive there, and having to deterrence when you have your crows up is the exact opposite of what you want to do. Now the barrage follow-up, but Cubsy has managed to get through those Murder of Crows without using Iron Bark, so he's going to have it if they swap back to him in 20 seconds with that Avenging Wrath. They're trying to bait a Barskin here. He's just going to displace the beast away with a kidney on a Mystic, and Peekaboo is just peeling like a god right now to keep Dillypoo alive. Yoss now at 50% HP. Elite gets locked out, throws out the Fist of Justice on the Cubs. He did pre-bear farm, so they're not going to be able to swap. He bubbles immediately and bops Yosk out of that damage there, but that wasn't the Murder of Crows. Dillypoo still has that. He's going to get trapped up there, eating the trap there for Cubsy. That was thrown down and missed, unfortunately. Cubsy trying to go for some Cyclones, because this is their opportunity to strike with that Murder of Crows, and no deterrences left on Yoss. There's the Murder of Crows come up. They need some CC onto Elite, though. He's just spam healing through it right now. Throws the sack. He did sack the Wyvern, so he's going to come out, and that's not what they wanted to see. They're still trying to pressure through it, though. 18% doesn't matter. Locked out on the Word of Glory there, and Peekaboo and Dillypoo taking out the counter comp. Double Paladin is not as tasty as the bubblegum. Double bubble.
All right. right, that is going to be 2 wins for Boo Brothers, and as you guys know, it is a best of 3. Let's take a quick look at that replay. So there's the bop going out onto Yask, but Elite had to use a lot to get that bop off, and that wasn't the biggest amount of damage that this Thug had, and I think it's going to bite him in the butt later on. So that's the Hand of Sacrifice that does break that Wervin, but it's not going to be enough as the kidney shot goes out onto Yask, and he's this Thug with Peekaboo's Dance is going to take that series. They're going to go ahead and advance. In the next matchup, guys, is going to be RLD Dream Team, Nesper, Shapus, and Pink Rangers going up against Glink's only Q Alt, Glink's, Zev, and Absters. That's coming up very, very soon. But yeah, that was awesome. I really liked, even though that they lost, I really liked that this team brought out the 2 Paladins. I love that they're trying to use compositions to their advantage. But, I mean, it bites them in the butt because it's comps that they're not used to playing too, though, you know? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know how much they practice that at all.
Yeah.
It's also hard, too, because when a lot of the time when you're running a comp like that, I mean, how often are you going to fight a Thug Cleave that's as good as Dillypoo and Peekaboo? You just aren't. Like, so I mean, you can have that counter comp. I don't know if they had the opportunity to play them, but a lot of the time you don't get to try out the things you think are a counter or like practice at all. And perhaps if their strategy was a little bit more refined, they could have won. I have no idea. It seemed like they played well. It's just it's hard for them to do anything.
It's always that little minor thing like bopping before crows. If he had bop for crows, nothing happens.
Yeah.
So, but he felt pressured because Yost didn't have any deterrences to do it earlier, and that was what I was experiencing on ladder against Peekaboo. It was like they get the cooldowns with nothing. He didn't dance, there was no crows, and they got the bop. And then because they got the bop, it didn't matter that they didn't have CC. The damage is too high, Elite can't heal it, and gets locked out because he has to cast. So it forces you as a healer into a position where you're like, what do you do? And that's more props to like Dillypoo and Naj's damage output and cooldown management than anything. So they're able to get through the grocery list of sacks and bops pretty easily. I think.
Grocery list. I like that, man. All right, so we're gonna jump into the next series very soon. We're gonna take a quick break to get the next 2 teams ready. We'll be right back, guys. Make sure to turn ad block off as that does help us directly, and you guys won't be missing anything. We'll be back in only 3 short minutes. See you in just a second. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry about that short delay. Both teams are ready, and we'll jump right back into it. I do appreciate all those people that are turning those ad block off. It helps us out way more than you might think. And we're going to jump right into this next series. This RLD Dream Team going up against Glink's Only Q's Alts. And the very first map of this best of 3 series, of course, is in the Grand Arena. It's RLD versus Ret Hunter Shaman. Any, I mean, I could give you my prediction. Can I give you my prediction? Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it.
Hit me with your best shot.
I feel like the I feel like the Ret Hunter Shaman team specifically has a disadvantage against this. But I mean, it's the Restoration Shaman. Maybe they could like Tremor fears. No, I just feel
I
like
agree with
He's
you.
never gonna get feared. He's just gonna get trained into the dirt.
Yeah, he just gonna train. Yeah, it's
Tremor
true.
doesn't matter.
all right.
It's just gonna. I feel like it's gonna be so hard for Zevs and Glinks to do any damage. But we'll see.
And Pugman typically runs Imp and Sack Pet, so he just
So they just go like
dispels
full
Podge
on
yeah.
survive, dampen,
and,
like.
and
But
Tunnel
I mean,
Absurd.
I want to follow Nesper around and just watch him target
his
Absurge
fist.
and never detarget him. Yeah.
All right,
The
man.
train is going to be real. He's actually playing the Fell Hunter, so might maybe soul burn one out later if the Hodge lands and he feels it's necessary, but he's going to start with the Counterspell Pet. He's playing Blood Horse, so he expects to be the target. So maybe the Red Hunter's opening here is between 80s Fan and Pink Ranger, so if they see that spec change, they can CC 80s Fan and go on Pink Rangers, but it's definitely really scary when you got Nesper on your Shaman in the back, just like, hi, I have red buff, you should be worried about me. You want to kill the Druid, but you should be worried about me the whole time. So let's see if they can notice that and make a swap to Pink Rangers. Red Hunter is like notorious for killing Resto Druids though, so he's gonna have to be careful, I think. And
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna have to see from
Pink
the Red
Rangers
Hunter.
is usually pretty careful with his bear forms. But that's what he's known for.
Yeah.
I mean-
And early dots getting thrown out, just gonna get dispelled by Absurge right away. No unstable afflictions just yet. They are turtling behind the pillar. Waiting maybe to try and accidentally pull Nesper out. Haunt and full dots onto the pet. He's going to retreat that pet. Wait, what is with these hunter pets? They retreat, then they just charge back in, and then they run away and they charge back in. It's funny to watch this dinosaur just going
Is
crazy.
this like the new thing that hunters do? Is they just build up the stacks on their pet?
Yeah,
I mean,
that
it's
is,
something you
yeah.
talked about early in the tournament, but it looks like all these hunter teams are doing that.
Yeah. And they're trying to kill the pet. Pink Rangers is even in cat form right now trying to kill this pet that can't die. So maybe a bit of wasted time here. Pink Ranger's actually already using 5% of his mana. I mean, it's not a lot, but when nothing's going on and if this game goes long, maybe like this early damage. Look at this, Drain Soul into the pet. And at this point, Glinks has to have 5 stacks. So
Yeah.
whatever target he goes on is literally going to explode. Maybe they're waiting for Nesper to open. They're going to Fist of Justice him and kill him 100-0 maybe. But I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
This
These are
is
strange openers.
After just spamming Dispel on the pet and just keeping it out. He actually popped. No, I don't know why the pet is red right now. Is that Bestial Wrath and I don't see it on the Hunter? Why is the pet red? I've never seen. Well, it's angry, dude.
I get
the
the
pet never
reason
goes red.
I think the reason Zevs and Glinks are sitting back is because they know as soon as they push in on the 80s fan or Pink Rangers that Nesper's just going to open up on their Shaman. He's going to be left alone. So there's no one they can really attack. If they go in and 80s fan, they're just going to be overextending. So they're just waiting. Just waiting for Nesper to open up.
80s fan doing the typical Warlock, just patting the meter on the pet. So at the end of the game, he can be like, "Look, guys, I did so much damage. I'm sick."
Typical Warlock.
He actually had to life tap because he's wasted so much mana onto this pet. Can he kill it? Is this actually seriously just gonna happen where his pet's just doing this? This is 2.5 minutes of watching a dinosaur attack 80s fan. He's got an offensive gate going in now at this point.
What's his dinosaur's name?
Life finds way.
And Life Finds Way just going crazy on 80s fan right now, just doing so much damage. 80s fan's throwing out those full dots. This T-Rex just going insane.
Oh my god, Nesper is really patient. I would have thought by now that he would just been like, "Ah, come on, let's go," and then
It's
open.
like, just leave your Shaman alone. I want to.
We like dampening. We'll wait. We'll wait.
fine.
We'll wait for dampening.
If that's their advantage, I mean, you can't blame them for playing to their
Yeah, I
advantage.
mean, why not?
If they're gonna,
Rain-
yeah.
Frogs, dude. He's raining frogs down. Oh, finally going to open with a sap on the Zevs. Nesper's patience paying off. Garrod into the D-Yard Kidney. Full Dots slowly getting loaded up. And Pink Ranger's even throwing out some Wrath. He has to pull back here defensively. Cloak of Shadows out from Nesper. Dark Soul from 80s Fan. Full Dot's going to be loaded up on the entire team. Nesper trying to connect, but Absurge is actually playing with the Frost Shock route to try and kite Nesper, so that's a bit of a unique choice amongst Shaman. The Capacitor Totem is going to get killed, though. Avenging Wrath comes up onto Pink Rangers. He's going to gateway, unfortunately, into Absurge back here, who can spam purge him if he can find the time to do it. Murder of Crows is up there as well. He's still taking a lot of damage. Has the Barkskin available, trying to camp it out with Bear Form and Hots. Has to use the Barkskin nonetheless. Red Hunter damage is unreal on Wrestlers. Has the Hellstone, Nature's Vigil as well. He needs to kite away from this damage, but gets Explosive Trap back. And Absurge, though, in the full kidney, does get bopped.
And Pink Rangers, I mean, cut into the full Hodge. He has no Trinket or Barkskin available. He does have full Vigil Hots right now, and I think he'll be able to live. I mean, Red Hunter damage drops off a lot after those Crows and Wings expire. So, I mean, I think Pink Ranger survived most of that burst for now, and it's going to be on Absurge to survive Nesper's Onslaught to the next little bit, or Onslaught, I should say, to the next little bit. Glink's rotting down, Zev's rotting down, Absurge caught into that full fear, but Nesper's just sitting on his back, and 80s Fan rotting the entire team, and Absurge is the one in trouble. The sack comes out from Zev's to try to stop some damage onto Absurge. Nesper taking a little bit of damage, though, keeping that feint up, gets caught into that binding shot, but Glink's only Q's ult, they're just all dead. Their team is just taking so much damage. Pink Ranger's caught into the full Hodge. He does have Barkskin available in 2 seconds as well as Iron Bark. He's not going to have to use either of those. But look, their whole team is at 30% HP. Absurge has so much catch-up to play. He didn't use that link there. The bop comes out from Zev's onto Glink's. Glink's had to Trinket there as well as use a deter, but Absurge is able to save that Spirit Link for now.
Yeah, I don't know how well this Frost Shock choice is going. I mean, Windwalk gets killed immediately, so does Earth Grab, so maybe it's just like he's out of options. He's fought Nesper a lot, and that's just what he thinks is best. He can root him out of the trap as well. He's going to. He gets into the Howl of Terror, though. Glink's getting pressure. He goes for the Barrage on the Pink Rangers, but he doesn't even have to Barkskin. He just Displacer Beasts away. Has the Iron Bark. Will have his Trinket in about 7 seconds to answer the Avenging Wrath out from Zev. So unless Pink Rangers gets globaled here and Absurge somehow survives, there's the full kidney. He's going to get out of that with his Trinket and top himself off. There's the Adrenaline Rush out from Nesper, though. He's going to be building that red buff even faster. Dark Soul from 80s Fan. He's loading up the entire team. Absurge trying to dispel the dots, but he's got to be worried about that swap, and Glinks is still getting pressured. The Haunt comes onto him. He has one more deterrence, but if he's in the kidney shot, he has no Trinket to get out. He's trying to put the pressure out on the Pink Rangers, but he's on the other side of the map in bear form. As you were saying, playing as cautiously as he can. This is no average bear. This is Pink Rangers, the scared bear. He's just running away from Zev the entire game. Throws at the bash. He trinkets. This might be the Avenging Wrath, though. On to Pink Rangers, a full Hodge, but gets Howl of Terror on it. Luckily for Pink Rangers, Murder Crows, Barkskin immediately, Barrage Wings comes out. If they don't kill him here, they will not kill him, though. 60% HP, gets the NS, Hellstone, gonna top himself off, and Absurge is still getting pressured so hard, but even though he's low, his mana is still high. Pink Rangers is actually behind, so if he can stay alive, somehow, maybe they can pull this off?
Maybe, but the wings are going to expire from Zevs, and I mean, Pink Rangers, I don't think is going to be in a lot of trouble out of that. Glink's caught into the full kidney shot, getting killing speed by Nesper, hovering around 20% HP. Absurge not in ACC, though, does get caught into that fear. I think he actually pre-tremored that fear, so well done by Absurge, dispelling all the hots or dots off Glink's. But this Red Hunter team isn't been able to cause any pressure outside of their wings, so it's going to be another minute and a half before they do damage. I mean, 80s Fan taking a little bit of damage. Pink Ranger's caught into the full trap right now, but I mean, it's going to be this RLD doing most of the damage out right now. Nesper popping that evasion, trying to play a little bit defensively. Absurge's caught into that full kidney shot. Relentlessly getting trained down by Nesper, his whole team getting rotted down, caught into that Garrote. And like I said, it's going to be hard for them to really do anything outside of wings.
Yeah, Murderer Crow's up on the Nesper. He's spamming the feint to try and keep it up. Pops the Adrenaline Rush, but maybe this is over-aggression here. Full Fist on the Pink Rangers. Nesper have 40% HP. They're trying to counter-pressure while they're all at 20%, and unfortunately they're attacking a Rogue with feint, not accomplishing too much. Full Kidney comes out on the Aura Mastery, has his Trinket, drops the Link. Not going to do a lot when you're all at 30% health, though, and 80s Fan pops the Dark Soul as well. So once that Spirit Link is gone, once the bubble falls, that raw pressure is going to start being real. Nesper, in the meantime, doesn't have to use too many more cooldowns. He did have his combat readiness and his evasion engaging. He is out of defensives. Avenging Wrath coming up in 15 seconds. Nesper will have his trinket, though, if they choose to Fist of Justice him. Glink's getting rotted down as well. Absurds, though, sustaining his mana well. He just needs to keep his teammates alive. Pink Ranger's at 50%, but he could go for a drink, I feel, at this point almost. Glink's goes in for the trap, though. It seems like they're going to pressure Nesper with that Fist. He trinkets immediately. That's the Avenging Wrath, though. They're trying to cut through the feint. Pink Rangers gets out of the trap, though. I think 80s fan pulled out an imp to dispel him there. Zev getting pressured with the Avenging Wrath. Pink Ranger spamming out the heals, knows that he needs to keep him alive. Smoke bomb, kill, kidney shot onto Glinks here. Absurge comes in with the nice juicy NS, tops Glinks off, and we've kind of evened out here, and Nesper seems to be falling behind.
Yeah, Nesper not able to sit on Absurge as nearly as much as he wants to, and he's actually having to play semi-defensively right now, getting a little bit of damage out onto Zevs, but this Cupid Cleave doing an excellent job of forcing Nesper to play a little bit defensive. The Binding Shot trap comes out onto Pink Rangers at the same time. The Hodge comes out onto Nesper. He's under a lot of pressure right here, hovering around 40% HP. The Cloak of Shadows does come out, but Pink Ranger's not going to be in any more CC. Is going to top that Nesper instantly with that NS. And Nesper's not able to have as much uptime, like I said, as he'd like. So he's not able to build up that red buff nearly as fast as he wants.
I feel like waiting in the opener actually is backfiring on them because we're so deep into dampening now. We'd be like 3 minutes back rotating through all these cooldowns, and look at it, like Nesper, no trinket, Pink Ranger's no trinket, and unfortunately now we're at so high in dampening, kidney onto Absurge, the sack comes out, but that just means Zev's going to take even more damage now from all the dot pressure from 80s fan. Glink's trying to get the kill commands. It seems like they're dead set on focusing Nesper for the time being, but as the Rogue's spamming Feint, as long as he keeps it up and doesn't get caught out with no trinket, I don't see him dying. Avenging Wrath up in 30 seconds. Absurge has to stay alive for that if there's any chance, and the Iron Bark actually coming out, that's not going to be available for the Avenging Wrath. He's still getting dipped here at 50% HP. Pink Ranger's having to heal very inefficiently with the Life Regrowth and Genesis heals getting spammed out, so he's going to very hard here. Absurge somehow, some way keeping his team alive at 45%, maintaining the Riptides, maintaining his mana as well. Zev throwing out the Hodge, though. Pink Ranger's going to get out of there with Displacer Beast. Trap on the Nesper gets dispelled, though, by Pink Rangers, and I don't know, this is the point of no return, and waiting that long in the beginning is why they're so far behind. That bop at 1%! The Battle Master! Glinks in the meantime, though. Rip, you're dead. That's the RL dream, man. That is the 10%, 30% dampening.
The 30% dampening, no return. Yeah, they did a pretty good job that game. I mean, they had a lot of pressure on Nesper, and they got Pink Ranger pretty scared a couple of times, but outside of that Wings, like I said, it's just so hard to attack anything. Rogues, Warlocks, and Druids all so resilient. It's a nightmare for them.
Is there a map that could give this Ret Paladin Hunter team an advantage? I mean, they could go to Ruins of Oreron and potentially look at Cubsy. Maybe.
They have to. Ruins of Oreron, I think.
I like that they were rotating their Hodge and CC on to Pink Rangers, but I feel like the defensive cooldowns of a Rogue it's short cooldowns, you know? So I don't know if that'll work. If
they did get through all of them, though. Like I said, like if they didn't waste that 3.5 minutes or whatever it was, not attacking anything, like that situation might have happened earlier. And Pink Rangers was the one that was running out of mana, so imagine if Pink Rangers had to heal for that 3 minutes, not just AFK. He could have been in that situation. He might not have even been able to heal it. So I feel like they're not going to sit around on their hands this next game. They're going to get their hands.
The longer they wait, the worse it is for them. I mean, the deeper dampening goes. I mean, one of Ret Pally's big advantages is that they have those off heals to sort of help their team out, you know? Yeah. So once dampening's in and those off heals are worse, they're even in a worse spot.
I would like, I mean, if they were to delay the game into dampening, something to note with the Ret Paladin using like Clemency, they get the double Hand of Sacrifice, they get the double bop, but once both of them are used, it's got a little bit of a longer duration. So, I mean, will that give them an advantage at dampening? No. Yeah, either way, I think that they should not wait.
No.
So I'm asking Glinks what map he wants next, and he is going to choose Ruins of Lordaeron. I'm going to go ahead and press the queue up button. We'll jump right back into this best of 3 series. It is RLD Dream Team going up against Glinks Only Q's Alts, and the next map is Ruins of Lordaeron. I'll see you guys in there in just a sec. I didn't say hot minute, man.
Let me down.
My add-on's working now. What about you guys?
Yep.
That's good.
Alright boys, welcome to Ruins of Orderon, as me and Supa like to call it, Ruins of Hunteron. But is it going to give this Hunter team a big enough advantage to take down the one and only RLD Dream Team? I'm not convinced. This is a hard team, but this is the map to do it on if they were to do it on any map. You think they're going to go Cubsy?
Like
they might go Pink Rangers. I don't think Cubs in this game, but they'll probably end up going on Pink Rangers, I think.
Yeah, a lot, I would imagine. And I think Glink should just play Binding Shot and put it down on the Hodge. That way, if Pink Rangers blinks out, he'll get stunned on the blink. It gives Zev time to catch up. I think they should just all in Pink Rangers. Like, they can kill him through all of his cooldowns if they don't get peeled. So
yeah,
if
all in
East and Esper, yeah, all in SCVs, and they're actually going to camp the room. I think we're going to have a little bit of a waiting
they can do
game.
that, but I don't think it's to their advantage. I think the longer they wait, the worse the game is for them.
Yeah, he's going to send the pet out. I guess, I mean, wait for the 5-stack at least, I guess. So just let your pet do the work. Get your 5-stack. Get your biggest damage you can. And Pink Rangers this time wants to kill. Life finds a way. And Cat Farm already spamming the shreds, trying to force it out of here. And it's going to retreat back to the room. This is a scared dinosaur. Nope, going to turn around. These pets, when they turn around, look so silly. It's like...
I think it's a magnificent dinosaur. Okay. He's the only one with the kahunas to run in against this RLD Dream Team.
Oh, did it eat the blood horror? Is that why it did that? Oh, I can't see the buffs on the pet.
I don't think pets can eat blood horror anymore.
I didn't think it could. Oh. Zev going to take the tomb. Cheap shots onto everyone out from Nesper. Already onto Absurge. Mark for Death coming out into the half kidney shot. Haunt connects actually. Sack comes out. It's going to remove all the dots. So really well-timed sack by Zev, but 80s fan just going to reload, lock and load onto Absurge. The dots are already back up. Pink Ranger's getting pressured, going to gateway back with that bear form bark skin. And he had to trinket though, so he's answering the wings. He's going to survive them. A blind on the Zev, going to break immediately. He's trying to maybe just stall out as long as he can for Zev to get back, but he's going to connect. They got the cooldowns. Pink Ranger's going to live, has the Iron Bark and the NS should he need to use it. He's still dying. 70% HP, has to Displacer Beast to get out of there. Absurge in the back line, full trap on a Nesper. Should be okay.
Yeah, Pink Ranger's having to use a lot of cooldowns there, but he does still have Iron Bark and an S. He's gotten to the full Hodge right now, but he does have those full Vigil Hots. Meanwhile, Glink's only Q's ults, rotting down. 80s fans doing significant amount of damage to everyone, has full dots on their entire team. The second Demon Soul coming out from 80s fan there. Absur's getting bopped by Zevs. The Wyvern Sting comes out onto 80s fan, and they are going to just keep training down Pink Rangers. Beautiful cap totem onto Pink Rangers as well as 80s fan. Pink Rangers having to use that Iron Bark on himself, but Absurd still in a lot of trouble. Nesper just training him down, killing his totems, building up that red buff, and Absurd just falling further and further behind.
Yeah, and he's eating UA Dispel after UA Dispel. He's trying to keep the dots off and pressure 80s fan that way. A nice win share, but there's the full kidney. He doesn't even need dots. That's the killing spree. He's not trinketing, not reacting. Has to get the bop, link, and Aura Mastery overlap with the bubble from Zev. And you can't afford to overlap like that. Being very greedy with his trinket there, and a bit of a misplay by the Red Hunter Shaman. And now at this point, it might be the point of no recovery, even only at 17 minutes for Absurd. His mana's fine, but the HP is definitely not. Pink Ranger's in bear form here. Avenging Wrath is thankfully coming up in 19 seconds. They get the fist. They got the bark skin before, but he does answer the murder of crows, so he had to use the bark skin, but Absurge could just go down. 40% HP. Glink's in the cheap shot as well at 40%. Zev with no dots, luckily, and Absurge into the Howl of Terror, disrupting him as much as he can. But Avenging Wrath coming up in 3 seconds. No bark skin. Will have his trinket and Iron Bark, though, so he should be able to survive. But he is getting chunked before he's into the bear form. 80s fan does get dispelled out of the trap. He Displacer Beast preemptively to his gateway, and he gateways away, but the wings wasn't used.
Yeah, he's probably going to end up pre-Iron Barking himself once Zev gets in this room. The fist does come out. He does trinket that immediately. Still has the Iron Bark available. He might want to use it. He's taking a lot of damage. I don't think he has the Displacer. He's going to use... yeah, he's going to use that Stampeding Roar to get away, and Zev's just not able to connect on his wings right now. The Smoke Bomb comes out onto Glinks. Absurge's caught into that fear, and Glinks, the Killing Spree comes out from Nesper onto Glinks, is forced into that deterrence, but Pink Ranger's mana is really, really low at this point. I mean, if somehow Absurge, Glinks, and Zevs can survive, which I kind of doubt they will, I mean, Pink Ranger's mana might be a big issue.
I wonder if Abster's just pulling a Sea-Doo right now. He's just letting his team get really, really low, and this is like, yeah, I can save you whenever I want. I'm just choosing not to. He manages to sit through that full kidney. He still has his trinket. Believe he's playing an S, though, so he doesn't have a second link. And Pink Ranger's still getting pressured. No Barskins, no trinket. Fist of Justice up in 10 seconds. That might be the kill on Pink Rangers. They can keep the damage up. Bear form is not enough. 30% HP. He's got to kite away. He shadow melts. The Fist of Justice, 3, 2, 1. But Zev into the kidney. No bubble, no buff. He goes in the fear as well. They know that they have to peel this Hodge, but if it connects, it might be the end of Pink Rangers. 40% on Zev. He wants to get this Hodge. He wants to kill Pink Rangers. He's out of line of sight right now. Throws out the sack onto Abster to try and go offensive. That's the full Hodge. Not in bear form. Almost out of mana as well, and there's no stun DR left for Zev. They're just trying to kill him with damage. The Iron Bark coming up just in time, though. Nesper and 80s fan buying Pink Rangers the time that he needed in that moment of vulnerability, if there was one.
Yeah, but his mana, like I said, is such a big issue at this point. Zev's caught into that full kidney shot. The killing spree coming up from Nesper. Zev's could just die here. Is down to 1% and just dies from that red buff killing spree. Demon Soul coming up by 80's fan as well. And Pink Rangers is actually at that moment, so... so close. But that is going to do it 2-0 for RLD Dream Team against Link's only Q's alts.
There it is. Yeah, I feel like that is definitely a disadvantage of the Ret Paladin Hunter team, but they did fight very, very well. They brought the Ruins of Lordaeron, and they tried to take down Pink Rangers, but it was pretty close. As close as they could get. So, up next, guys, we have a pretty special series. Let's take a quick look. We got Method, Sea-Doo, Smexen, and Channibals going up against 50 McQuaid's Darker, Revolutio, Zelia Wong, Zion, and potentially Maldiva. That's coming up in just a minute. Any predictions for this next series?
I don't know. I don't know what 50 McQuaid's is gonna play, because they can play the DK Windwalker Paladin, and they can also play Windwalker Lock Pally, which is also very strong.
I saw Maldiva actually playing Shadow Cleave into Sea-Doo and beating him. I don't know if they beat him every game, but they were beating Channibals, Smexen, and Sea-Doo.
Well, there you go. They could run that. They have a lot. They have a lot of options. I don't know. I have no idea how to call this because I don't know what they're gonna run.
What's their best bet? I feel like if they want to kind of challenge Sea-Doo and Smexen and Channibals in terms of like we do more damage, we're mechanically better, then they're gonna play DK Lock. If they kind of want to, if they don't think that they're mechanically better, then they'll probably pull DK Windwalker and try and like all in SCVs. Let's take Sea-Doo down. And I think actually they came really close last week or the week before. Might have been last week, to taking Sea-Doo down as that comp, but I know that Maldiva was streaming and I watched him and he did beat them at least one game. I don't know if that means that they lost every other game after that, but so they could pull the DK lockout. It might just come down to who's online again. Like who can they
I hope
pick
not.
up?
I hope they are able to pull out their best option. I know if they do play DK Windwalker, it can be really scary for Sea-Doo in the opener, but the longer that game drags out, I mean, you just eventually lose. The WLS has so much pressure; it's a nightmare. But I mean, this is definitely the option of just running that and trying to like cheese down Sea-Doo really hard. But if the game goes long, they are going to lose, I think.
Okay. So that being said, I believe this team is going to be running Windwalker DK. So Windwalker DK, do you feel like the WLS still has the advantage late game?
Yeah, I do. It depends on the strategy they use. I've actually seen a new strategy from Windwalker DK where they hit the Warlock. They just sit on the Warlock the whole game and put out their little CCs in cap, into Hodge, on Sea-Doo, and they can just burst them down really hard and they can kind of control the game that way. That's more of like a long game strategy, or they could just try to all in Sea-Doo and cheese them. And if they all in Sea-Doo and cheese them, and they don't end up killing them, then they're in a lot of trouble.
All right, looks like both teams are ready. I'm going to press the go button. Oh, man, someone doesn't have lead. Let's see. We'll be jumping into this best of 3.
So yeah, early game, Windwalker DK has a shot. After that middle, like 2.5 minute mark, that's when Zelia Wong is going to be like, I hate my life. I can't heal this. And it's going to be hard from there. But again, you said if they go in the Warlock and control them and lock them down, I could see that buying them more time. And in cap and Hodge or whatever stun you use, like Asphyxiate, is actually still reasonably long. as long as
Yeah.
the lock doesn't just portal away from your hurricane strikes or kite it. So it's a very long CC chain for how much burst you can put out. So catching
especially if
channels
you-
out though.
Yeah,
is
if you
the
can
key.
catch Sea-Doo falling behind a little bit and then catch him in a CC chain like that, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if Channels was hovering around 60-70% HP from burst from the Windwalker DK, and then if Sea-Doo gets put into a CC chain after that, it can be really scary for Channels, especially if they're able to kill his pet.
Do you think he's not going to run sack pet?
I don't think he will. I think he'll have an eyeball, and if it's dying, he'll probably bring out a blueberry. I don't know, they're a Voidwalker, sorry.
Observer?
Everyone calls
The
it the
Observer.
blueberry.
I
Why
call
isn't
it a
the water
raisin.
ellie called a blueberry? It's actually
I call it a
blue.
raisin and a blueberry. Those are the Warlock
Yeah.
pets to me.
That sounds
A
delicious.
raisin?
Yeah.
Your eyeball looks like a raisin?
Yeah.
I thought my
Sorry, go
my
ahead.
friend Kellarm has the eyeball, and the eyeball's actually named Morkek. I thought that was so funny. His name was actually Morkek. And like Warlock names are actually so key to like the Warlock. I know like a lot of Warlocks like memorize their pet names, and they're like, oh my god, like Fazuzum or something, and they like remember their pet name.
Yes, always do that.
All right, guys, the first map of this best of 3 series is gonna be Grand Arena. You guys are so silly. Aw, baby. Welcome to the Grand Arena. We have 50 McQuaid's Darker versus Method. And you guys have already given your predictions, but I'm really excited to see this matchup. I feel like 50 McQuaid's Darker did really, really good last tournament. I'm really excited to see what they can do this tournament. The game's starting.
Yeah.
Channels
Sea-Doo
with the
does have a
blood
lot of practice against this comp, though.
Yeah. And he plays it, right? So
Yeah, he plays it, so he knows what's going on.
Revo being really aggressive, jumping in right away on to try to connect to Sea-Doo. There's the X68 coming out, but Zion going to be pressuring possibly the Warlock here. He's trying to connect onto Chanimals, and the Pet Stun coming out onto Sea-Doo. He's got the image out onto Sea-Doo as well, doing a bunch of damage. Flying Serpent Kick to reconnect back onto Channels. He's doing a good job kind so far, but Sea-Doo is getting soloed at this point with the Gargoyle. He's trying to fake the Mind Freeze here, but it's just not, he's not giving it to him, so he's got to kite around in the Ghost Wolf form and top himself off this way. Another image thrown out onto Sea-Doo. Leg sweep onto Chanimals. They're going to reconvene onto him, it would seem, and leave Sea-Doo alone. The Fist of Fury coming out to try and deny his damage. Finally getting the dots rolling, though, I think, here shortly. And it seems to be that they're going an in-between strat of what you were saying. They're kind of on the lock, kind of on the Shaman, trying to like play both games at the
Zion's
same
just
time.
throwing out his Stormwrath and Fire onto Sea-Doo and trying to
Yeah.
have Revolution pressure him as much as possible, but he's going to pull that image back, and they're going to try to burst down Channels as much as they can. Now they're swapping over onto Sea-Doo. The breath comes out from Revolution onto Sea-Doo. He could be in a lot of trouble here. He's down to around 30%. This could be the first link from Sea-Doo, but he's going to play it safe. Use that Windwalk Totem, get behind the pillar, and he should be able to get some cast off here. But as the game goes further and further, it's going to be harder and harder for Zilia Wong to recover his team. But at the same time, Channel's dipping down low. Has that Demon Soul out right now, fully dotting their entire team. The in cap comes out onto Sea-Doo into Asphyxiate, and they are going to switch over onto him, pulling him off that pillar. He's going to try desperately after this to get back to the pillar. The DR leg sweep comes out, and this team's at 50 Shades of McQuay has so much pressure on this team.
Yeah, but he still has his trinket. Still has 2 links. There's the Recklessness Avatar coming out, but it would seem that both teams are rotting, even though the Warlock is on the side of Method. Zilia Wong throwing the denounces, but he did get reflected on the denounce, I believe, so his heals aren't going to crit for a little bit there. And the double shockwave, though, landing onto Revo and Zion. They're not able to get out of that, unfortunately, and Revo has to pop the AMS as a result, but the Haunt charge stun swap over to Zilia Wong. He gets locked out on the Word of Glory. Saved by the Light's going to proc. They're shredding through it, though. He's got the bubble available, still has 2 buffs and his trinket. He should be all right now that he's survived the lockup, but Smexon still pressuring him, throws at the fist, in cap onto Channels, Asphyxiate onto Sea-Doo, but he escapes another stun without having to trinket or Spirit Link, drops down the Windwalk Ghost Wolf puppy form, gonna LOS back here and top himself off just fine, and Zilia Wong is feeling the heat with Revo at 20% HP.
Yeah, Zilia Wong actually, if he used both bops there, had to bop himself as well as bop Revel. Channel's fearing him actually, and Revolutio still not out of the woods yet. The Hex coming out from Sea-Doo onto Zilia Wong. I don't think he I don't know if he tricketed that or if that just broke to the Agony, unfortunately, but that was a beautiful hex by Sea-Doo. Meanwhile, Chanimal's taking a lot of pressure. Sea-Doo getting gripped in, but it looks like Zilia Wong is the one in a lot of trouble. He has those wings out, but Smexon is just all over him. He pops that wall down to around 20%. Smexon does have that avatar up. If he can get him in execute range, it could be a nightmare for him, but it looks like he's going to be fine for now. He gets locked out on that Ward of Glory by Smexon. Beautiful kick by him, but Smexon's coming back to pressure Zeond. And he's just not letting Zeon and Revolution do whatever he wants, and this whole team is under pressure right now.
Yeah. And Zilia Wong just getting locked out over and over and over, making himself fall even more behind. But a nice double leg sweep onto Channels, and Smexon going to be pausing the damage for a brief second there. And as he gets the Word of Glory, he's rolling the Sacred Shields back up. But Smexon just heroically is back on a Zilia Wong, procs it instantly and locks him out. 30% HP. He gets the bubble off in time out of that execute range. Sea-Doo into the full 68, into the Paralyze with the Gargle up. He gets grip back now as well. Maybe a bit of a misuse of the Paralyze there on a Sea-Doo, and he still has his trinket. He still has both links. And, you know, that early game advantage is not proving itself true so far here. Sea-Doo doing a great job kiting, and Zeon and Revo have to find some way around it, maybe a different target, because he's just not getting anything out of Sea-Doo. The double shockwave going to be landing once again from Smexon onto Revo and Zion, and they are fully dotted. The full hex lands, but it might break, and unfortunately does break to that 10-stack Agony. Asphyxia onto Sea-Doo, Fist of Fury onto Chanimals into the leg sweep, but Revo is the one feeling the pain at 40%. Smexon just smacking him silly. He's going to come out of the fear here. Hopefully he can top him into a DR fear. Lichborn heals coming out from Revo to try and keep himself healthy, and Channel's getting chunked at 30% HP. The safeguard comes out. Sea-Doo's in a great position to just get these healing surges off and top him though, and Zilia Wong getting locked out again though, and we're moving into dampening. This is where the late game advantage, as you were saying, can swing for the WLS. Channel still getting pressure, gets locked on Haunt, can't port. 30% HP, Soul Reaper's out. Sea-Doo dispels of Soul Reaper, but now into the Asphyxiate, has his trinket, but he's not using it. Finally, the trinket in Link is going to be forced 4.5 minutes into this game.
Yeah, this could be really scary for Chanimals. I mean, they don't really have too much left. He does have the healing as well as trinket available, but he's under a lot of pressure right now, and because of that, he's not able to get out as many dots as he would like. He is going to port back, relay his port behind the pillar. Sea-Doo going to top his team off right now. But it looks like the strategy of them going on Chanimals is really preventing them from doing as much pressure as they traditionally would as WLS, and it's actually forcing Chanimals to play pretty defensive. It's scary for him having a Windwalker and DK there bursting him down, but Revo taking a lot of damage right now from Smexon. And if we look, I mean, Sea-Doo still doesn't have his trinket up for another minute. He is caught into that full Asphyx right now. The breath comes out. They are switching over onto Sea-Doo. They're trying to take advantage of the fact that he has no trinket, but Revo and Zeon taking a lot of damage now too. Zilia Wong popping those wings to try to top off his team, and he is able to. Sea-Doo still in a little bit of trouble right now. Is able to get behind the pillar. He probably will be able to top himself off right now, but both Zilia Wong and Sea-Doo are having mana issues at this point.
Yeah, both teams are kind of trading blow for blow, and Smexon is feeling the brunt of it into the leg sweep. Denounce is coming out as well, damaging him fairly hard. Revo is, and he kind of has to. Smexon is just babysitting Revo off of channels, just not letting him do exactly what he wants, which is a good plan from him. But now the 60 on the Sea-Doo, no trinket. Channel's in trouble. He's going to get grip back, has to pop the Dark Regeneration, but a nice shockwave again out from Smexon to peel that, give the Dark Regeneration the time it needs to heal, while Sea-Doo comes out of CC. Trying to heal efficiently now with the healing waves, but he goes into the paralyzed. Channel's immediately portals back, goes for the Dark Soul Haunt. That's going to connect onto Revo, and he does have the Lichborn heal, so he should be all right to try and push in aggressive here, and they can start getting their own spread pressure. And the Fist of Fury coming out onto both of them, and the Fist of Justice onto Sea-Doo now with the Dark Sim as well. I'm not sure what he was trying to steal there, maybe a Hex, but he got hodged up on it. Zilia Wong gets locked out, but there's the leg sweep landing onto almost everyone. Sea-Doo getting pressure, but a shockwave equally as good answered back from Smexon. Zion actually trinkets out of that to try and pressure. Revo still feeling the heat at 50%. Shadow Fury Fear trying to come out from channels, but it's not going to land. See Zilia Wong into another charge stun getting swapped to. Smexon constantly swapping back to Zilia Wong, so it's very hard for him to cast and get the heals. Pops the Avenger Rat, tops himself off, and Fist of Fury going on to Smexon getting pressured as well. And as they're saying, it's going to be a mana game, and at this point Sea-Doo is definitely ahead by at least a little bit of an edge.
Zilia Wong does have those wings up though right now. He should be able to top off his team if he can get these casts off. Looks like Zeond and Revo are back on Chanimals. The endcap does come out onto Sea-Doo, and Chanimals could be in a little bit of trouble here. Beautiful shockwave coming out by Smexon, the Dark Soul coming out from Chanimals. This is going to be trouble for Zilia Wong. These wings are going to be fading, and Dark Soul's popped. This whole team is going to rot down so hard, and it's going to be hard for him to top off, especially at 50% dampening. But Sea-Doo under a little bit of pressure right now, down to around 44%. He does have his Trinket Link available. He gets away, gets gripped back, and this could be Sea-Doo's Link here, caught into a triple DR stun think that was a Fist of Fury, but Revel under a lot of pressure right now, and Xeon and Revel having to play defensive. Because of that, Sidu is able to top himself off.
Yeah, now you can see the WLS pressure finally sinking in. Zilia Wong at 9% mana, completely tapped. Revo with the sacrifice as well. Word of Glory is coming out, but Smexon's just going to go right back onto Zilia Wong, so he can't heal efficiently. Goes into the Shockwave, going to bop that immediately. Wants to save his trinket for later. Now the double Shadow Fury ice-bounded by Revo. Trying to stay offensive, paralyzed on a channel. Was trying to get over to Sidu in desperation, but he has the trinket, has both links at this point. So outside of a big misplay, I don't see Sidu dying to this pressure. He's got the puppy form, Ghost Soul running away, pops the Ascendance, gets leg sweeped on it though. He's going to trinket in Spirit Link, not going to misplay it here. Touch of Karma coming out defensively as well as offensively into the triple Fist of Fury, trying to stick on Sidu. They have to push through it, push through the pain of this rot, but man, does it hurt.
And Sidu still has a link available. He's going to have that Stone Form available too, but Zilia Wong caught into the Shadow Fury. Smexon does pop that Recklessness Avatar. It's going to be the end for Zilia Wong, I think. He's down to around 20% HP, having to pop that bubble, but Revo and Xeon also under a lot of pressure, but Sidu caught into the Asphyxiate, into the Hodge, but I think he's going to be fine. I mean, he's going to have Gateway soon. He has a link available. The link does come out, and now that Zilia Wong is out of bubble, he is literally at 1% mana. This is going to be a nightmare for him to heal his team.
Yeah, Zilia Wong has the Adventure App, but get locked out twice in a row there. That's probably going to spell disaster for him. 30% HP. Sidu with the Capacitor Totem getting pressured. The Soul Reaper's up, but that's it. Execute range. He survived it barely, and Smexon is still on his tail. He's getting Fear Spam just to interrupt his casts. He's somehow surviving and not getting executed at 19%. Sidu into the full Asphyxiate, though, with no Trinket. Revo in the full Fear, unfortunately. Not Lichborning it, though. I feel like if he Lichborned this, they might have gotten more pressure. A little bit uncertain why he sat through that. I mean, maybe they don't feel confident in the 2v2, but unless my add-on's wrong, I think he could have liched that full Fear. Maybe tried to turn it around, but I mean, I guess it's at that point where you're like, okay, you're dead. I won't try. I don't know.
Well, your guys' predictions were like spot on. Yeah, there it is. So the very first map of this best of 3 is going to go to the team method, and we'll jump into the second map as soon as I get an answer on what the second map is going to be from 50 McQuaid's Darker.
I mean, Revo, Xeon, and Zilia, they lasted so long in that matchup. I think... actually, I don't know. I mean, at the beginning, it seems like they wanted to do like a split strategy, so it makes sense for Xeon to be playing Chi Explosion, but I think in like how that game was going, it would have been way better for him to have Hurricane Strikes when they're convening on a target like that. It just makes it way scarier during those little CC chains to have that like insane amount of burst.
I think Xeon is actually the only monk that doesn't play Hurricane Strikes. Because anytime I fought him, I've never seen it. And that's why when I fought Balance last week as opposed to Xeon and he used Hurricane Strikes, my team wasn't expecting it. I feel like that's just his way of playing. I don't know. Yeah. So I actually don't remember fighting him and him taking Hurricane Strikes. And then they sub Balance in, and that's why you saw Hurricane Strikes. So he could take it. Does Chi Explosion like give you any defensive?
Well, the Chi Explosion gives you extra Tiger Eye Brew, so it's nice when you're using the images, because then your images attack at range, so they don't get kited as hard, as well as you get Tiger Eye Brew more often, so you have like that Zwen fortification out. When you blow your stacks, you get the damage reduction.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see Hurricane Strikes just to see how it works in comparison. Yeah. But like, how do you find a way to get mana? Like Zilia Wong has to find a way to drink, while both of his melee are just getting trucked by Smexon. Like,
yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's a scary call to make, but he's got to somehow maintain his mana. Like, they stayed alive, and they kited, but they definitely didn't play the all-in strat. So maybe they'll try it here on Dalaran. It's a much smaller map, so Sidu won't have as far to go away, and the pillar's not as large either, so Zilia Wong can push up a bit as well. I did like that they played it out at least to the end there with the Fist of Justice out of the leg sweep, I believe, at the end, just trying to take him out, but Sidu playing it completely safe at the end, not being greedy, realizing how far ahead he was.
Yeah, I mean, this is Dalaran Sewers, so this is going to be 50 McQuaid's Darker's map choice. So, I mean, on a smaller map like this, maybe this Windwalker DK Holy Paladin team can make something happen, but we'll see. I mean, Sidu got pretty dangerously low sometimes, but they rotated their defensive cooldowns perfectly, so I don't know. Something's going to have to change.
He's running Chi Torpedo again, so he's not going to try Hurricane Strikes out.
No, you can have Chi Torpedo and Hurricane Strike.
Oh, what am I looking at then? I'm going to look at this. Let's see.
See if he uses the Chi Explosion. If you see explosions, then That's what he's using.
He is using Chi Explosion again. And a lot of damage coming out onto Zion. The Haunt already up. Shadow Fury Fear is going to land. No dots. He's going to have to sit in that Fear. Zion getting pressure at 60%, throws out the image onto Sea-Doo, trying to give Revo some support on him as he pressures Chanimals and tries to lock him out, going for the Chi Burst, trying to put out as much pressure as he can and not let him get these UAs out. Denounce is coming out as well. Sea-Doo getting pressured a bit. Double leg sweep going to land. Specs and Trinkets immediately charges onto Zilia Wong, who's playing up here in the front, throws out the Fist of Justice. Unfortunately, overlapped a bit with the Asphyxiate there. The Safeguard comes out. Fist of Fury come out, though. Breath of Cinder Gosa going to force the Battlemaster Hellstone, and not a Trinket and not a Link. Just like last time, Sea-Doo escaping all those cooldowns unscathed and even going for a Hex now. Nice rebuke, though. Going to lock him out on that early exchange.
And Zilia Wong hasn't actually had to use anything yet, so he has all his cooldowns available to sort of heal through this WS pressure, which is like key element. I mean, once he uses the wings, it becomes really hard for him to heal up, but he's taking a lot of damage right now. The Save of the Light, as well as his wall comes up, and this is his wings, but he's just getting fear spammed on it by Chanimals. He is going to be able to get some healing out on himself, and Sea-Doo having to gate away, but he's not out of the woods yet. The Chi Burst, Fist of Fury coming out from Xeon, the double Shockwave coming out from Smexit onto Revolution and Xeon, but Sea-Doo's still in a lot of trouble. He doesn't have Gateway available. This could be his first Spirit Link. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get away. He gets in-capped on his Aura Mastery heal. Leg swept after that. Beautifully done by Xeon, denying those Aura Mastery heals, and this probably will be his first Spirit Link. The full Strangulate comes out. I don't know if he has Trinket. He does Stone Form the Strangulate into a Spirit Link, so that's the first Spirit Link.
Oh, Zilia Wong gets locked out!
Locked out
That's it!
and that is 2-0 for Method against Team 50.
Oh my god.
Let's take a quick look at that replay. Let's watch Zilia Wong's health. He's full health with Avenging Wrath right now, but that's the lockout. And Recklessness is going to come out from Smexen right after that leg sweep. As even though Sea-Doo's getting pressured right here, watch Zilia Wong. Watch his health. Avenging Wrath is going to fall down. He's trying to Holy Shock himself up, and that was the lockout that Supa was referring to. Gets him into execute range with the Avatar Recklessness and going to get that execution button pressed. And there it is. Method is going to advance. And 15 McQuaid's Darker will go to the losers bracket, which is going to happen next week, guys. So make sure to tune in then.
Wait, next week?
Yep, losers bracket is going to happen
bracket this week?
All winners.
Just winners bracket this week, dude.
Just winners bracket this week to determine who plays in the losers bracket.
Okay.
So, we're going to jump into the next game very shortly, guys. Let's get the teams ready. We have, let's see, let's take a quick look at the bracket. So this is the bracket. I think I might need to refresh it for you guys just to get you guys updated on what it is, where we're at so far. So here we go. All right. So the teams that have advanced so far have been I'm Stuck, Season 8, Boo Brothers Go to Alaska, Scouts Honor, RLD Dream Team, and Method. And we have two more matches up, 4 more teams. And we have Wizard Cleave, which is the qualifying team. They qualified yesterday, having to face 2 matches to even get here, going up against Hey It's Tony from the Bronx, the one and only Supatease, K, God Comp, and D, BBDBK. So out of these 2 matches, we need to determine who's going to round 2. And round 2 and 3 is going to be played out tomorrow, guys. So you're all updated on what we're doing next. And Supa, I do believe you are next, sir. And we're gonna
change the
Oh, Supa's playing this tournament?
Yeah, dude, Supa's playing.
I didn't know that. What are you playing, Supa? The same team as last time?
The same team, yeah. Same team. We got 4th place, man. We got 4th place in 2 different tournaments.
Oh yeah, they were close games. Right? You got knocked down in that bracket. It was 2-2. And I think it was it was a really close game.
Alright, Supa, good luck. You're playing a TSG, man.
Yeah, that TSG I got to commentate yesterday owns. I'm gonna die.
Don't say that. Yeah.
I'm scared.
Dude, it does. This TSG freaking owns, man. They stole so much.
I believe in Supatease, though.
True.
I'm gonna dip out of the call.
All right, buddy. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. Let you get situated. Let everything and get the next map or also the next series ready as well. So we'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned. We got some amazing games coming in hot. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes.
the smoke when the sun shines. We will forever be faded under both skies. Captivated in your cold eyes. We will forever be faded under both skies. See the smoke when the sun.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry about that quick commercial break. I just wanted to thank. Oh, I got you and Super switch places. Sorry, give me a second. I can do this. Can I swap you in Skype? No, I can't. Lame. All right, hold on. Ready?
You want to leave the call and come back?
No. I got you.
Are you sure?
Yeah, believe in the heart of the cards, man. We
I
can
believe.
do this.
I believe.
Where is? And then I gotta find your Skype box. There it is. Oh man, here, hold on. Yeah, there, boom. Alright. We figured it out. We made it happen. We improvised. And we're good. So the next series, guys, is Wizard Cleve versus Tony from the Bronx. I'm excited. We're about to go and cast our good buddy Supa. And both teams are ready, man. You ready?
I'm absolutely ready.
Alright, I'm gonna
To be a nice Cleve versus Cleve matchup.
It's probably gonna be Turbo or KFC, so well, it is gonna be Turbo or KFC. So, what are they facing? They're facing TSG. What has the advantage, Turbo or KFC?
Is it a Monk TSG or a Druid TSG?
It's a Druid TSG. Druid. It's not a Monk. It's not that much.
Okay. I'm not sure what has the advantage. I played Monk TSG against Monk Turbo, but I don't know how it plays out with a Druid. I do know that DK Warrior is very, very high pressure, so I mean, I don't really see this game going deep into dampening, maybe a little bit into dampening, but I don't think it's going to be a really long game.
I'm cool with that, man. I'm cool with the Cleaves, man.
But I've been wrong before, so we'll see.
I don't know, isn't that crazy? One thing that's cool about these tournaments is that all these players are super high rated, but it seems like they queue up maybe at different times and stuff like that, so they might not face each other on the ladder that much, or sometimes even at all. So seeing them like go up against each other is a real treat. So we're gonna.
Well, it seems like you guys are really okay. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. You're good.
I was gonna say it seems like you guys are all really surprised by this team Wizard Cleve. I mean, I guess a lot of people don't know them. I mean, I don't really know Star Succeed, Jeffries, Das Bear, Duden, but you guys were really impressed by them. So that's cool.
Yeah, I really was. I feel like when they needed to go defensive as a team, they did a great job doing so. And when Das Bears was like trying to determine, I mean, like there's points where this DK Warrior team was pushed in and they needed to be defensive, but they had no defensives, so they might as well just been offensive, right? And they got these crazy awesome sims where they got to cyclone up the enemy team, and it saved them like 3 times in a row, and they got their defensive cooldowns back off of cooldown, and it won them. That's how they got here, is they had to get those awesome plays up. So this KFC, Tony from the Bronx, is going to have a lot of work to do to beat this TSG. I don't think that they're going to go down easily, even though that they are the underdogs.
Yeah. And it looks like Lyric's immediately going to open up onto Dasper Uden, the double shockwave coming out onto Jeffrey as well as Dasper Uden. Supatease throwing out some roots onto them as well. And it looks like they're just going to switch it over onto Supatease immediately. He's just going to trinket and displace away just to avoid as much damage as possible. So he has that hard up, trying to keep his team as offensive as possible. Tony putting Star Succeed into that full trap, and it looks like Dasper Uden is going to be the target of choice. Supatease does not have a trinket, but he has all his other cooldowns available, so the next swap they do on him, do expect an Iron Bark, and I think he will be fine because of that.
Yeah, Supatease is always in a very good position. I mean, there's another grip into stun onto Supatease, and like you said, there's the Bark Skin right away. He's taking quite a bit of damage. That's a DR Shockwave onto Supa. I think he's going to be completely okay there, and Lyric's doing a great job double Shockwaving these double melee off of his Restoration Druid, and they're going to swap it right back over to Tony. So it looks like every single time that this TSG has that grip stun combo, they're going to go ahead and try to do it onto Supatease, slowly getting those defensive cooldowns. But now the KFC is looking at Star Succeed, and he's taking that barrage damage coming out from Tony, taking quite a bit of damage, but it looks like he's going to be completely fine. They're bringing the damage back over to Das Bears with that Bestial Wrath, and Supatease is going to answer it with an Iron Bark.
Yeah, Star Succeed does get that Iron Bark onto Dasper Uden, like you said. He has full hots as well, but they are switching on to Supatease. They do throw a Fear onto him. I'm not sure what that Fear was, but looks like Tony going to be taking a little bit of damage. Supatease decided to pop that Iron Bark onto him, and if we look, Star Succeed still has his Trinket. and Supatease is not for another 30 seconds. But yeah, this KFC, I mean, it's really hard to kill. None of the targets are really good for them. Lyric's taking a little bit of damage right now. Supatease desperately trying to get those hots up onto him. He does get gripped, fixed though, and it looks like they're going to try to switch it over onto him, but they weren't really able to accomplish too much. Supatease didn't have to use his Barkskin there at all. The bash comes out from Star Succeed onto Lyrics, and he does get cloned out of that, so Supatease not going to be able to top off Lyrics for now.
Yeah, Tony now taking a bit of damage from Jeffries. Looks like this TSG might be splitting. Both of them just trying to get pressure. Full shockwave goes out onto Tony. The faint death comes out. He's just trying to prevent the damage. Now he's getting offensive. There's the BM going out. Iron Bark goes out onto Dasbeard from Star Succeed. Supatease gets gripped in. He has Soul Reaper up on him. He's trying to get away. He's sitting in that bear form. Looks like he's going to get rooted up. He's just desperately trying to get... But you know what's great? When Supatease pulls back like this, it forces this double melee to overextend. Iron Bark goes out onto Lyrics, keeping him offensive. Star Succeed now into that full fear. They're trying to get offensive onto Tony as well at the same time. Barrage coming out. I'm not even sure with both of these teams what kill target there is, but Supatease's mana might be a problem here pretty soon.
Yeah, it looks like they're both trying to swap around as much as possible, take advantage of the fact that both teams have healers. You know, they're going to have to get hots out, so it's more efficient and it burns through a lot more mana after swapping around. And it looks like they are going to asphyxiate and try to swap over to Supatease. He's just going to get that safeguard from Lyrics. And he really didn't take any damage there at all. I'm surprised. Supatease got into a full clone right now. Tony into that shockwave. Tony could be in a little bit of trouble right now. The first deterrence coming up from Tony. He doesn't have that trinket available for another 8 seconds. Supatease throwing out all those trents, trying to get him topped off. But this TSG isn't really able to force this, or I mean, this KFC isn't really able to force the TSG defensive much at all. Supatease now caught into the asphyxia. They're going to grip him in, shockwave him, DR. The DR fear comes out onto Supatease. Tony getting the Iron Bark from Supatease right now. Star Succeed also Iron Barking himself. He is the target of choice at the moment in that bear form, trying to get away, but Tony's still not out of the woods yet, taking a lot of damage from Jeffries and Dasbeard.
This TSG is so good at doing that spread pressure, man, hitting whatever's vulnerable, and I feel like if they can make it to dampening, this is going to be an attribute that will prove very, very deadly. Star Succeed now, he's in that bear form, caught in that stun, but he's got the bark skin up. He's going to be okay. Supatease stunned once again, instantly bark stinning, with the Roar Sacrifice as well. I think this is a good move considering Jeffries has his Recklessness going. He displaces away with bark skin and Roar Sacrifice. Star Succeed now gets out of that trap. I'm not sure how he got out of that trap, but Lyrics is taking a bit of damage. He's sitting in that defensive stance. And he actually leap and fears Star Succeed, and that's going to force the trinket.
Yeah, I think that trap broke because he had Rend on him. But Supatease's mana is hurting a lot. This is TSG just basically bouncing around and hitting anything they can, and because of that, Supatease is having to be very inefficient with his mana, having to hot everyone up. And he's down to around 20% mana, and dampening's not even in yet. Meanwhile, this TSG is sitting pretty. Star Succeed at around 50% mana. Tony taking a lot of damage right now. He does have those hots. The Iron Bark comes out from Supatease onto Tony. Lyrics having to pop that parry. They are on Star Succeed now, who is in bear form. Just trying to tank some of that damage. The full shockwave comes out. Barkskin comes out from Star Succeed. He still is in bear though. He's just hugging the pillar, trying desperately to get away from Lyrics and Tony. And it looks like he is going to be able to get away. But Supatease still a lot of trouble with his mana. He's going to be able to sit down and drink here, which is a key part of this game. He's just sitting down and sipping. Mana going up and up and up. Wow. Is at 50% mana. And meanwhile, Star Succeed taking so much damage, still not out of the woods yet, hovering around 50% HP. Doesn't have Barkskin or Iron Bark or NS available. So this is going to be big trouble for him.
That was a big deal that Supa got that drink off. Barkskin being used by Supa as he does get gripped in there, rotating his defensive cooldowns with that grip stun very, very well. Star Succeed, though, he's in a little bit of trouble. Iron Bark going out, trying to kite this KFC as best they can. The double shockwave goes out onto both the DK and the Warrior on Wizard Cleave. Star Succeed could be in a bit of trouble. Mass Speller Flake comes out. Is it going to be enough to help him out? The charge stun comes out, and this TSG is just gripping the Warrior up, but they connect again. He's getting so low. Rallying Cry coming out from Jeffries as well. Star Succeed looks like he's gonna be okay for now, but this KFC wants to connect. Oh, Lyrics, though, is he in a bit of trouble? He's got that Soul Reaper on him, but that was the Nature Swiftness Iron Bark on the Lyrics. Supatease keeping his Warrior offensive.
It's just Star Succeeds trinkets coming in around 10 seconds. You did have to pop that Bark Skin, just trying to tank as much damage as possible. Lyrics has that Reckless North's Bladestorm out right now, doing a significant amount of damage, and Star Succeed could drop down into execute range. His Bark Skin's going to fade. He does catch a huge heal with that Genesis, but Tony in a lot of trouble. Supatease caught into the full fix. Tony does have one deter available. Lyrics as well, popping his deterrence, so, I mean, his parry, and both teams under an immense amount of pressure right now. Supatease trying desperately to chop off Lyrics and Tony. Meanwhile, Star Succeed just trying to kite, keeps that Ironbark up on himself, keeping himself fully hotted. He knows he's the target of choice. He has to keep himself up. Tony having to deter. The rallying cry comes out from Lyrics, and Supatease's Heart of the Wild is going to fade, and this KFC, or this TSG, is just forcing so much pressure on this KFC right now.
Oh, they're going to the DK. I like this. I feel like them going on a Star Succeed gets so many defensive cooldowns. Oh, and he just goes down. He gets into that execute range, and Lyrics is going to press the execute button. And the first map of this best of 3 series is going to go to Tony from the Bronx. But what I was saying is, I feel like them going on to Star Succeed like that is actually overextending the KFC, and they were getting defensive, but they just turned it right around. I mean, we're at 16% dampening, and it was hard for Star to bring the DK back up, but
yeah. Looked a little safer than he was with that AMS, but AMS doesn't do too much against Hunter Warrior.
Yeah, not
once he drops in that execute, he's just dead.
All right, GG's goes out to Tony from the Bronx, and let's see what this underdog team is going to choose for their next map. Just to reiterate, guys, today we are doing just round 1. If you guys want to know exactly what specific matches are going to be played, I'd recommend checking out the rules, !rules, the command in chat, and read right underneath when we're going to be streaming. There is the order of what rounds we're going to be playing in right underneath there. So if you want to keep track of where we are in the bracket and what's going to be played today and what's going to be played tomorrow and even next week, you can check that out there. So I'm going to go ahead and ask Wizard Cleave what map is next. I was getting so much spam from Super to give him leader. That's funny.
Oh, really?
All right. I mean, that TSG, the spread pressure that was coming from him was ridiculous.
Yeah, Warriors and Death Knights both do a lot of damage, and I think they were doing the right strat. I don't think they can just sit on one target. It's better if they just bounce around. The DK was playing Necrotic Plague, so if you can keep that 15-stack Plague up on their entire team, it's a lot of rot damage.
It is a lot of rot damage. So the map that is chosen by this TSG is going to be Tiger's Peak, but it looks like it has been declined. Going to give these teams just a couple minutes. Oh, there we go. And we're going to jump right into the next one.
Perfect.
Alright. Yeah, it glitched. Hold on. Pressing it again. It happens. Just give it a second. There we go. Alright, boys. I'll see you guys in Tiger's Peak. We were in the same boat on the chair game, man. I need a new chair too. So bad. The arm is actually off. It's not connected. I accidentally push it off. Alright, welcome to Tiger's Peak, everybody. This is a best of 3 series between Tony from the Bronx and Wizard Cleave. And this is the map choice by Wizard Cleave. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I feel like a map like this doesn't really give an advantage or an edge to either team, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they feel like Star Succeed can get away a little bit easier. You know, he's a little bit more breathing room, a little bit more room to kite. Because, I mean, he was the main target. I mean, although Desperate died, Star Succeed ultimately was the one who was pressured most throughout that game. So, we'll see.
We shall. Alright, here we go. I'm going to start off by following Jeffries out of the back. Actually, Lyrics jumps right onto Dasbears. He wants to get offensive, get in the fight with that battle stance. Speller Flight coming out from Jeffries. Not sure what he's trying to prevent there. Double Shockwave coming out from Lyrics onto both of these DPS. And the full Werbenstein does land onto Star Succeeded. Supa's going to get gripped in, and all the offensive cooldowns are coming out. Roar Sacrifice and Barkskin are going to come out for Super as he displaces away, and he's going to be okay. Lyrics now taking the brunt of these offensive cooldowns, and Supa's just going to answer that with an Iron Bark.
Supatease actually used every defensive cooldown, something to note. So the next stun on him could be a lot of trouble. I mean, he has no Barkskin, no Iron Bark, no Heart of the...
NS.
Yeah, just he has nothing. Meanwhile, Lyrics, Supatease getting full feared there, and Lyrics forced to pop that parry, and they do grip Supatease in. He does get full asphyxiated. This could be the damage they want on him. This could be their opportunity. Supatease is going to be able to just displace away shortly. Does pop that bear sprint and is able to get away, puts Jeffries into the bash clone, but he does get pummeled on that. Supatease only has one hot on himself. He could still be in a lot of trouble. Dasper Yuden's going to connect onto him, and he does get caught into that shockwave. He's going to displace away. Does get gripped on his displace, though. He could be in a lot of trouble here. Does the rallying cry comes out from Lyrics down to Supatease, trying desperately to hot himself. The full strangulate comes out. Does get that iron bark up, but he's still not out of the woods yet. 23%, 30%. If he gets put into that execute range, he could just die. Hovering around 20% HP. Jeffrey wants to execute him so bad, but Supatease getting that iron bark out onto himself, and he's going to be able to top with that. But that is a lot of pressure. And now Lyrics is the one in trouble at around 40% HP. Supatease just has to put out so much healing. This TSG is causing so much pressure onto this KFC right now.
That was everything used. And there's the grip stun. Again, Roar sacrifices up on Supatease, but is it going to be enough? He's in human form. The storm or the shockwave goes out onto Supatease. It's DR, but he's in so much trouble. The Soul Reaper is about to tick. There it goes. He blinks away. He's going to be okay for now, but Jeffrey's heroic leaps. He's right back on top of him. But Das Bears
hovering around 20% HP. The rallying cry comes out from Jeffrey. Starts to succeed caught into that shockwave, and Das Bears just going to die. So good job by Tony and Lyrics, turning around the pressure there, and good job for Supatease living.
That was a pretty good game, man.
Yeah.
It's going to tie it up 1-1. Tony from the Bronx and Wizard, please. Oh, man. Oh, is it 2-0? Oh, it's 2-0.
Yeah, it's, yeah. No, it's not good, man.
In my head, I'm already thinking it's 1-1 when I saw that swap to Supa when he had all of those debuffs, or all of those defensive cooldowns used, but GG's goes to Tony from the Bronx as they will advance, and Wizard Cleave is going to go to the losers bracket, which will be played next week, and fight their way back into this tournament. And wow, alright, that's done. That was the best of 3. There it is. So Super will probably be back in this call briefly. I'll probably have to fix the cameras again. I don't know why that is. Alright. So, that was pretty brief. Let's see who is up next. Up next we got K. Spec is back. Sugar Beat and Viedes up against DBB, DBK, Generics, Majidin, and Danny Carey. This RMD, yeah, this RMD it's scary. I mean, they've won this tournament twice, and Majidin the Mage has won it again on a separate team. So this is a solid team.
Majidin is on fire. I mean, he's won the last 3 of these GCD tournaments, like you just said. So, and plus, I think me and Supatease's prediction for the team that was going to win this tournament is an RMD. I know, talking to a lot of top tier players, it's a very frustrating experience fighting a good RMD. It seems very hopeless. They know how to play well defensively. Getting out a lot of polys and cyclones is just not a lot you can do, and then they just one-shot you.
There it is, man. Welcome back, Supa. How you feeling, buddy? Supa?
Hello?
Hello. How you
I just
doing?
fell down a flight of stairs.
You just fell down a flight of stairs?
Yeah.
It must make you feel... Is that because the TSG was on you and you were scared?
Yeah, because I fell down a flight of stairs and I almost died.
Dude, that was intense. I thought you were dead, man. I'm gonna be honest.
You're not the only one.
Alright, so the next map, or the next matchup is... It's gonna be a good one. I'm excited to see these teams play. I feel like...
Oh, should I turn my thingy?
No, you're good, man. You're all set.
Just leave it?
Yeah, it's the last series.
Alright, just, well, yeah, whatever. I'm naked now. I took my clothes off to play that game because I play better naked.
Don't blame you.
So, if you ever go to BlizzCon, do they need to like make like a separate like blacked out booth for you?
I walk around with a shower curtain.
Well, dude, whatever you need to do to play better, man. That's what you got to do. All right, getting these teams ready to go. 1 second. Any predictions for this matchup, guys?
I'm so excited I forgot what the teams were.
It's GodCon versus RMD, and it's not just an RMD, it's generic Major RMD.
This is the
I
same
think this
GodCon?
RMD is...
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the best RMD, you think?
Yeah. Wait, is this GodCon the Pally GodCon?
No,
Let's see.
it's Sugar Beat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that was in the other tournament. I think Generic can take this pretty easy.
I think so too. I think RMD is considered pretty good, especially combat RMD is considered pretty good against God Comp. So.
Oh, I gotta get you in here, Super.
Oh, yeah, re-invite me, man.
What about
I'll
your
commentate
add-ons?
from outside. Oh, my add-ons. You're right. My team had to remind. My team carried me. They're just like, remember this, remember that. I'm just like, okay. I come back, get carried more. Please.
Let's make a little checklist for you.
My grocery list of turn this add-on on, join the group, say hello, be nice, be friendly. What else is on my checklist? Can't bear form. Hope that I don't get stunned out of it. Wait, I reloaded, so I canceled the invite. I need another one, please.
Okay. Let's take a quick look at the bracket while... Oh, I'm worried what the bracket's gonna show. And I pressed it anyway. There we go.
Everyone's gonna queue up naked now. I gave them the secret tip.
Oh, wrong one. There we go. You gave him the secret tip. What's the
It's a
secret?
bunch of naked WoW players now in Arena.
I don't even know what to say, man. Where is this? There we go. Oh, it's this one. There we go. Alright, so this is the bracket showing you guys. This is going to be the last match of the day. We're going to continue the winner's bracket later on tomorrow. So make sure to tune in tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern right here at GCDTV to see who is going to the finals. And then next week, we're going to go through the loser's bracket to see who is going to be going up against that team in the finals. So that's all happening tomorrow and next week. So make sure to tune back in for that, guys. This tournament does have a $1,000 prize pool, so these teams are pretty competitive right now. Pretty competitive right now.
Pretty competitive indeed.
I gotta say, from my point of view, I don't want the RMD to win.
Yeah, I can see
That's my
that.
point of view.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna press the queue up
Please
button.
Vadas win. Please Vadas win.
I'll see you
We'll
guys
see
in
how
the
it
map.
goes.
I think. Am I wrong?
Oh, you're not wrong. I'm gonna go see what's going on. Add-on has bugged, so they're just gonna reload real quick, and we'll start that right back up. We'll start it right back up.
We have the technology. We're here. We're advanced enough. We can restart.
We can restart, man.
We can do it.
Dude, imagine if there was a restart button on life.
Would you press it?
Would I press it? That's the question, isn't it?
There's a restart button on life. I would not press that, man.
You would not press it?
Nope.
How about 50 years from now?
Think about it statistically, man. How many humans on this earth like don't have it good?
A lot.
Yeah,
You-
a lot.
I mean,
of
like
people.
reset completely,
Like,
re-roll.
majority
Well, I mean, like
You're-
reset
Like you
buttons.
re-roll, you go back into...
What is there checkpoints now?
Wait,
Like,
is it
come on.
like, do you start with your same family and everything?
It's
or
the
is it,
same
like,
family, you just restart.
Oh,
What?
What if you restart and you keep all of the knowledge you had?
Oh, of course. I'd press that instantly. I'd be next Einstein.
who wouldn't do
Instantly.
that? What?
Who wouldn't do
There's
that?
no downfall to that, man. You gotta be a little bit more tricky than that. Come on. It has to be. Would you press the reset button? Oh no, because then I don't know. I don't even know anymore, man. Let's just run into this game.
I don't know if I would actually think about it.
Press the reset button if really? Oh, because like the things that might occur to change what you already have now.
Yeah.
I feel you, Doug. I think now you're making me think too. I don't think I would either.
I go too deep.
Maybe you never met Clutter, you know?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. Yeah.
You take the blue pill or the red pill?
Man, drugs are bad. Okay.
Oh, it's from the Matrix.
I
It's not
know.
drugs.
Yeah, drugs are bad. All right.
I think Morpheus gave him drugs?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was just the whole
That
movie
was
is just one big
drugs.
trip. You didn't hear that?
Oh, it wasn't drugs. But yeah, I think because Sugar Beet isn't playing like Holy Paladin, they can't really punish generics as hard. Usually, is like Holy Paladin, Godcomp can kind of punish generics, but for the rest of it, it's much harder to get into Bash. You can use evasion to avoid. There's so many things that Sugar Beet has to avoid just to get that stun, which is also a longer cooldown. So it's going to be so rough for them. Blizzard comes out, it pulls generics out. So they're not going to get the opener they want. He's already building up those icicles into the sky. He's going for the polymorphs. He's going to get polymorphed himself. Mage didn't get silenced, so he trinkets, goes for the ring, lands the deep. Poly's going to land on a Danny Carey, though Sugarbeat not CC'd just yet. And Generics is getting crushed here a little bit. Had to get iron barked by Danny Carey as well as the trinket. And the God Comp coming out of that opener very strong. Sugarbeat going to trinket the blind, play very safe. He's got the bubble wand. I see bubbles going out from everybody right now in the arena. The iron bark up on a spec is back, and both teams evening out.
Yeah, and Danny Carey actually used his trinket there, a very early trinket from Danny Carey on the first CC that hit him. Meanwhile, Sugarbeat caught into the full polymorph, spec is back. Going to be able to cast an MD on that, so well done by him playing back, gets the MD on Sugarbeat, but Sugarbeat going to be caught into that clone. And meanwhile, spec is back, has caught into the full kidney, so much damage getting put out onto him. Sugarbeat caught into the DR clone. This could be his disperse. Is he going to be able to sit it down to 18%? Having used that disperse, Sugarbeat finally out of CC, able to get some hots out onto him, but this RMD is just causing so much pressure. And meanwhile, spec is back is still, I mean, he's not topped. He's at 50% HP right now, and it could be a little bit of trouble for him.
Sugarbeat gets a nice clone on a Mageddon, though. It does top him off in time, but Generic's just going to be building for that buff. He's got another kidney, defreeze on a Sugarbeat. He did pre-cat it. He needs to land the ring here, and the ring is going to land. Spec is back completely alone, even into the smoke bomb, into the sky, trying to go offensive with the deep freeze on a Danny Carey, but he doesn't get the polymorph. Goes, and they're going to swap to him, actually, in the Horrify. Barkskin comes out immediately, and S regrowth as well as all of his Trents. He knows how dire that situation could have been. He wants to keep his team offensive. The Iron Bark going to be fading on Spec is back here shortly. Danny Carey pushing out to try and maybe get a bash here onto Sugarbeat, but he's going to displace the beast to the other side. Mageddon getting pressured to the Devouring Plague coming out. Danny Carey trying to top him off, does a good job so far. Deep freeze on the Sugarbeat. Polymorph going to land. Spec is back completely alone. Vanish coming out with the ambushes. So much damage, so little time. Life Grip comes out. He grips him into the orb, so he's not going to be able to poly him. He gets the NS off, and Spec is back. Somehow, some way, is back in the game.
Yeah, it was a beautiful life grip there, stopping that CC chain onto Spec Beat, or Sugarbeat, sorry. Spec is back, is still under a lot of pressure here, though. Danny Carey using that Iron Bark on himself. It's RMD on the offensive. The full kidney shot comes out onto Spec is back. The deep freeze, potentially into a ring or polymorph, comes out onto Sugarbeat. The ring, full ring comes out, and this is just going to be the end of the game. That cross you see into the sky, just in that full clone Sugarbeat into the deep ring, and there's just nothing anyone can do about that.
Yeah.
All right.
I think their strat was good. They got Danny's Carry Trinket, and they got his Barkskin on the next swap. All they had to do is make sure that that third swap was completely set up perfectly, and they could have taken him down. So I think that was a good strat. I think they played well. It's hard, obviously. You got Generics right behind you and Mageddon like destroying you, and you've got to go offensive while that's all going on. But I think their strategy was well done.
Yeah.
And I mean, they played well. He life gripped him out of CC. Like they did well, but it's just inevitable. You're gonna get caught and not have a way to stop it eventually. So,
yeah,
unfortunately, but
it's just that triple CC. I mean, into the sky gets caught into a clone. I don't know if it's out of a sheep. You just get sheep into a clone. The deep freeze goes out onto Sugarbeat, and Spec is back, gets kidneyed, and they just. I mean, they can rotate their trinkets, but eventually they're not gonna have trinkets, and they're just gonna get caught in that and die. Which is why it's so hard for God Comp against RMD.
Yeah, and because they don't have a paladin, he doesn't have the bop either, or the other pressure from a
yeah.
whole
They also
opponent.
don't have the Hodge, which is
yeah,
big
that's
deal.
the big one. That's
Fists every 30 seconds.
so game changing in this matchup at least.
Yep, the next map of this best of 3 is going to be Tolvaron Arena. Where is it?
In the sands of Tolvaron. I'm just gonna find that song. You need to play it one time.
Maybe one time.
This is potentially the last game of the day, right?
This is the last game of the day. But more games are going to be coming on tomorrow. Tomorrow.
I don't know the rest of the song.
I've never seen
I
any.
love ya.
Is that the next one?
Tomorrow is ever a day away, or something like that.
That guy that said he'd donate $100 there, we just did karaoke.
Boom.
I'm calling you out.
Hiya.
I remembered you. I'm calling you out. I like Sugarbeat's bubble wand on his regrowth. It's really hilarious. Just watch these bubbles going everywhere. It's probably intimidating too. But the early sap and into the sky. Mark for death onto the mage here, possibly opening onto him. Maybe a misclick even. Generic's head to Cloak of Shadows as well. Opening up onto Spec is back, and that Mark for death is going to be wasted. Ironbark comes out by Sugarbeat, throws out a bash onto Generics. They're trying to 100-0 him. He trinkets. He doesn't have that cloak. Danny Carey has to trinket as a result. He throws the NS and the Ironbark up, but that's the strategy they used last game. If they can get that swap to Danny, they can definitely 100-0 him. But a full blind onto Sugarbeat. He's choosing to sit through it this time around. Spec is back, dangerously low here for 64%. Generics comes out of the kidney. He vanished, saps out of the blind, full kidney. No killing spree, but dispersion is forced. 3%. I'm scared.
Sugarbeat actually used his trinket there. He trinketed at the end of his CC, and Spec is back is still not out of the woods. He does have full Haas. Sugarbeat going to cast those regrowths out on him, and he's going to be okay for now, but Sugarbeat has no trinket, and Spec is back has no disperse, so the next CC on him could be big trouble. And I'm pretty sure Generic still has his killing spree. The bomb comes out onto Spec is back, denying any of those heals from Sugarbeat. Deep Freeze comes out onto Sugarbeat, potentially into a Polymorph or a Ring of Frost. Here comes the full ring. He actually didn't get it off, but Spec is back is still in a lot of trouble. The killing spree comes out from Generics to clone onto Into the Sky to try to stop his peels. The Ironbark comes out from Sugarbeat onto Spec is back. Danny Carey puts out that offensive clone. The Ironbark will fade, and he's going to be at 50%. If they can get any CC on Sugarbeat, this could just be his death.
Yeah, still at 50%. Sugarbeat trying to throw out the clones onto Danny Carey, but now into the full kidney he goes. Frozen Orb is out. Deep Freeze onto Sugarbeat. Ring of Frost being casted. He got locked on the poly. He got silenced on the ring, fortunately for Sugarbeat. Nice play to deny that CC. Spec is back going into the Spectral guys, trying to kite, but the poly landed nonetheless. He's completely alone. He throws out the Horrify. It's going to get it dispelled instantly. He throws out the Double Fear. This is a Krill Fear right now. He's trying to stay alive. Desperation mode, spamming the Flash of Lights. He's survived once again, somehow, some way. Silence onto Danny Carey, Ironbark before it onto Generic, so he should be fine. A bash into the sky, gonna blink away. Full kidney though onto Spec is back. No disperse for 30 seconds. This could be the end of the game. Full clone onto Sugarbeat. Ice Nova connects. Comet Storm finishes the job. Well executed, obviously, by Generics, Majordan, and Danny Carey. And I can feel the salt of the God comp a little bit. I taste that salt every once in a while when I fight RMD2.
You look at if you look at the CC of that game, how long was that game? Like 2 minutes or something?
2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes. I mean, that game was 2.5 minutes. Into the Sky sat 54 seconds of CC. Sugarbeat sat 42 seconds of CC, and Spec is back sat 41 seconds of CC. So, I mean, I'm not amazing at math or anything, but at least a third of that game they were all CC'd. So that's pretty insane.
There it is, boys. That is going to conclude the games for today, but we're starting right back up at 9 p.m. tomorrow. Make sure to tune in. We're starting some pretty awesome games. We're going to continue to do the winners bracket, so all the teams that have won today will be competing tomorrow. Let's take a quick look at that bracket. There it is. So tomorrow we have I'm Stuck Season 8, Boo Brothers Go to Alaska, Scouts Honor, RLD Dream Team, Method, Hey It's Tony from the Bronx, and DBBDBK. That's all happening tomorrow, guys, so make sure to come back and tune in for that. And in the meantime, I'd just like to do a couple shout-outs, as we did get quite a few subscribers and also donations. So shout-out to Adorabelle, ValenZX, Double 84, DMob3. Thank you guys so much, and welcome to the GCD family. We really do appreciate all the support that you guys give us. And also, we did get a few donations as well. Let me just read those off real quick for you guys. We had a $4.20 donation from Keladar. Where's the disc? A disc played today, actually, on Naj's team.
It was a disc.
$3 from Raptors. Please adjust the volume. Your last commercial. I had to crank the volume way down. The commercial. Oh, we actually don't have any ability.
You don't have any control over that.
Over the commercials, but I really do appreciate you watching the commercials. Those do directly help us out. So thank you for turning off your ad block. And yeah, so I'm gonna play one more commercial and we're gonna end the stream. But sit tight. We're gonna have a quick GCD bomb as soon as that commercial is over with. And I appreciate everyone turning off ad block. It directly helps us. Thank you. So while that commercial plays, I believe we're gonna bomb our good buddy Tony Style.
Tony Bomb.
Tony Bomb.
Tony Baloney Bomb.
I don't think he's
His name's
online.
not actually Tony, man. His name's William.
What?
He's starting it.
He's starting it right now. Okay.
That was the most awkward thing for me when I met Tony at BlizzCon, was realizing that his name is actually William. Because you call him Tony all the time in the game. You're just like, good job, Tony. And then you meet him in person, you're like, William.
Yeah, that's weird, huh?
All right, everybody. A couple more minutes here of the ads, and we will be bombing our good buddy and pal in just a second. Thank you guys so much for coming and tuning in. I'll see you all tomorrow. Make sure if you're on Kel'Thuzad or Tichondrius to join the GCDTV guild if you're so inclined. Also on Ravencrest EU. If you're from EU and you're watching this, thank you so much, as I know it's like 5 a.m. And everyone, let Tony know where you're coming from. There it is, everybody. Thank you guys so much. See you tomorrow. Host Mr.
Bye.
Tony 31. Alrighty.